Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All day and night, I win the fight. I get it right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hello, people on all the spectrums. How are you? This is the Way of the Leaf. This is the LeafCast, a first-time reader show based on the epic fantasy series, The Wheel of Time, written by Robert Jordan. Ryan should be joining us any minute, but I am Ryan's brother Dan, and I'm as overweening as a pig in a pea field.
Are you?
Yeah, generally. Overweening as a pig in a pea field. It just rolls off the tongue, Tom.
That's a drinking obligation if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, I think so too.
You
Tom,
certainly smell like a pig in a pig field.
You introduce yourself, Tom.
I'm Tom. I'm now officially part of the Way of the Leaf cast here, and also this stuff right here, this dragon mount right here, a little rub it, give it a little.
Ooh, I love the baby dragon mount shirt.
Sorry, my nipple was there too.
Your puppet has nipples? You got the deluxe edition.
It has a lot of stuff.
Well, we are here. This is our first time reader show. We do this every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern live. We have a live stream. We have a chat going on now. Hello, all my friends that are here. We got a thong. We got all kinds of people. We got 11. But let's, you guys, go ahead and call a friend, tell them to join us, because we are talking fires of heaven, man.
There's a lot of pink highlights in these chapters. Ooh. I use the pink highlights when I feel like there should be a drinking obligation.
Oh, okay, guys. So make sure that you have a full pewter mug.
Oh yeah. Especially this first chapter 23. So like the fifth I give you, it just better be a fifth of whiskey, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just passing out little Jack Daniels all over the place. Hey.
Thank you.
Well, Tom, they're not here to see these gorgeous puppets.
I know.
They're here to see our first time readers. So let me get the music, and then we will do. Let's just, you know what? They're always a special guest. So. First time readers, special guest now.
Oh, I see a little pink head sneaking out from behind that book.
Hi. Did I hear something about?
Go ahead.
Pink references.
Oh yeah.
There's several.
I highlight in pink in my Kindle. Any verses I feel like need drinking obligations.
Very good. In my book, I underline them in blue. So let's we'll compare.
Yes. There's two in the first paragraph of chapter 23.
Oh my, I don't have any in the first paragraph.
I might just want to drink. I think I have a problem.
That's the first step,
isn't it? Right?
The first step is recognizing the entry. Yeah.
So let's just do it. Let's do it.
Hello, Kay. Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you?
Oh, I'm better than most, I assume. If I complain, go ahead and slap me in the face. I got nothing to complain about.
And how are you, Tom?
I'm fantastic. Absolutely wonderful.
Awesome. Josh
absolutely wonderful.
At some point too, yes. Like, hopefully, we'll see. Right?
He can't find his thinking cap. Not his thinking cap. He just can't read. Think. Talk about reading or thinking. So that's totally how it works, I think.
Ooh, you know what? I don't know if that music's gonna work because then you got so like all cut out. So say that again.
I said that Josh probably just can't find his beanie.
Oh yeah.
That is true. The dome of truth.
Yeah.
Are you assuming that Josh doesn't have several beanies, Tom? You think he just has one?
That's true. I don't know if they have different powers. Maybe like he needs certain ones.
It's like the
Maybe.
Infinity Ring
Yeah.
It might be.
gauntlet.
These chapters have some stuff in them. So maybe he needs an extra special one.
He may.
You know, there's times where he comes in with wearing like or he has like a drink just for the chapters that we read. He's like, oh yeah, this one's called The Maiden's Kiss. It's got bitters. It's got some 12-year-old amaretto. It's got it's got a potion that I got from a Romanian guy.
Those are the best kinds of potions.
Josh has fun drinks.
I was talking to Ryan about how, like, the biggest compliment I think that Josh has ever given anything about these books specifically is like a really great meal that he really wanted to cook. You know, he wanted to replicate the delicious meal that was described, so that was fun.
He's all that sounds good. I think I'm gonna do that next week.
Yeah. I'm gonna add that to the menu.
He totally did. That's exactly what he said.
He has a much higher brow taste in alcohol than I do. I'm basic AF, as the kids would say.
Are you basic AF, huh?
Yep. Vodka and juice.
I
I think I think tonight is Tito's and pomegranate juice.
On the that sounds delicious, Tom.
It is delicious.
That's not
It is
basic
very
AF.
delicious.
That sounds delicious. On a separate note, I had a friend who actually qualified as a judge to the Great American Beer Off in Denver, Colorado, I think it is. And he had to take a test. It was a blind taste test where he had to, drink a flight of beers and be able to identify what it was without knowing anything really about it. I don't think it was blind. I think he was able to look at it probably, but yeah.
It was deaf. It was a deaf taste test. Listen to it.
Yeah. It was mute. They couldn't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
A few senses short type of taste test.
But apparently to become a sommelier, you have to not only be able to identify the wine, but also the region and year.
Oh,
interesting.
Well, that's sounds like Frasier type stuff.
That sounds like Frasier type shit, right? It was a rainy year that year.
Yes.
Right, Niles? Of course.
Yes.
The man who was stepping on this had a hangnail on his left toe.
What about you, maid? Oh, I don't know. I only drink old English 40s. Remember there was that maid that Niles wanted to fuck?
I don't know it that well.
Yeah, no, you brought up Frasier.
I don't know it as well as you do.
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know. Yeah. And the old man. There was the old man. Remember the old man? Anyway, let's move on. We are here not to talk Frasier. Although we can talk Frasier if you guys want.
We can constantly do that. Yep.
Chairs moving around.
Moving. That was the chair.
What else was this? In other fantasy news, in additional fantasy news this week, The Lord of the Rings was released.
Have you
watched it? On Amazon Prime Video.
What shall we do now? What are we gonna do?
So I haven't watched it. Do they have the Ring of Power origins like Wheel of Time has?
Not yet. That is a great question. I have no idea.
It's a fabulous question, though.
Are they utilizing the X-ray or whatever they? I think it was called X-ray.
It's called X-ray. Yeah. That is a fantastic question to which I have no answer.
Maybe chat would know.
I do need to see the chat, and I'm going to carefully tap on.
One thing I found out recently about the show specifically is that apparently if people expecting this show to be a interpretation of the Silmarillion, which, if anyone hasn't read it, is like reading the worst parts of the Bible.
Oof.
A lot of
apparently, Amazon only was able to obtain the rights to what's already been adapted. So, like,
weird.
They can only tell stories from stuff that was in The Hobbit and
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. And that's it.
Huh. Well, they're going to do a 3-film thing about the Silmarillion?
They aren't.
I ain't going to watch that.
Nah, that was boring.
Bleh.
Like, and the angels sang for 10,000 years.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'd be cool. Words. Maybe it's more like dark and mythic. Like maybe it's just grander battles. Who knows? I don't know. I never finished this. I never finished it. I read, I think, maybe 40 pages of it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I think there's nary a hobbit.
Yeah,
nary a hobbit.
Hard defeat.
But we're not here to talk that stuff, guys. We're here to talk about
I'm stalling. I'm stalling for time.
Oh, we're stalling for time. No, I guess you're right. But we can get into it. We're trying to get through 4 chapters, unless we just say forget the 4th and the 5th I give you.
So clever.
Just gonna drink again now.
Thank you. That wasn't bad.
Say hello to my little friend.
These chapters aren't that. There's
a free dragon.
A lot of it's kind of like drink, and I'm stoked to get Josh in here too, because we learned a lot about Tel'aran'rhiod in these chapters too.
Yeah, we do. It's super weird.
It seems like there's like 3 distinct parts of Tel'aran'rhiod that we're seeing. We're seeing like just dreams. We're seeing Tel'aran'rhiod, and then we're seeing like this weird thing with all the stars, all the fireflies around, where they're like in between dreams,
and some new functionality in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Right, being able to find people at whim wherever they are in the world,
and then maybe a little bit of twirly of Tel'aran'rhiod against people's will.
Ooh, see.
Yeah.
Well, gosh. Well,
it gets saucy. That's for
sure.
I'm following you, boss. You tell me, I'll jump right in. I have.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Josh will join us when he can.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and just kind of talk through the 5th I gave you.
I will say I'm a little sad because his beanie really just gives me strength, but it's not. I don't want to say it's a consolation prize because that lovely hair that's on Kay's head right now.
Hey. He's a fabulous fact checker, but I'll keep it grounded for you.
All right, I appreciate that. That hat, though, oh man,
don't count on me for facts.
Yeah,
I got that hat's
fantastic. It's perfect. I love it. It does hide the Donatello look, but it is wonderful. I do like it.
Brother Donatello may show up.
Yeah. Brother Donatello was quite fun.
So this first one is a Egwene point of view chapter. Right in this first chapter, we have pushing her skirts above her knees. So that's my first one. Definitely.
Again, it says pushing her skirts above her knees.
Yeah, it's like the second sentence or something. And I wrote down like, why? Why? What is this? Why is that important that she's pushing up her skirt and then is like, Wait, hold on. I have to find
Definitely needed that in there. That was important.
Right? It was like so irrelevant.
And she had stockings on. No wonder she's so.
Not like she had stockings on. I was like, is this her internal voice? Is she shaming herself?
Yeah,
shaming herself and like consoling herself at the same time. Right? She's like, it's not as though I was bare-legged. Oh,
it really.
Oh my!
Well, she is super prude. She is super prude. She is like. Later on, it says, "Oh, you were asleep. We couldn't wake you, so we had the Gaishan undress you and she's like, "Oh, there were boys in Gaishan. Oh my! They probably saw my bitty titties.
All my lady bits. Ooh.
My lady bits.
All right. So then the next part it doesn't. All right. So, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Aiel War? What do you remember about the Aiel War? Specifically, how many of the Aiel there were?
Lots? No,
there were lots, but there were only 4 clans.
Yeah.
That participated in like getting revenge on Lumen.
Yeah. And it wasn't even like all of the clans either. Like of those 4 clans, it wasn't like the entirety of the clans. So there are 12 clans, including the Shido, right? And that means 11 of them are following Rand right now. And all of the armies of the entire of, the Westlands or Randland or whatever you want to call it, couldn't stop 4 clans.
And all of the king's horses and all of the king's
Could you imagine?
couldn't.
If the Aiel wanted, they could just be like, just eat the whole everything.
Just Pac-Man. Just Pac-Man across the map.
Pac-Man. Exactly, just like
nice.
That.
But yeah, I found that interesting. So like the next chapter is the trotting columns of the Aiel flow by her, arranged by clan, sept, and society. Thousands upon thousands with their pack horses, mule and Gaishane. So it's like, wow. Like, could like just imagine being like a soldier, like an older soldier who fought in the Aiel War, and they're like, there was only 4 of them then, and now there's all of them.
Yeah.
No, I cannot. Yeah, that's crazy sauce.
Or imagine being one of the survivors in that first village that Couladin massacred, and then seeing all these Aiel and Rand saying, "No, they're good, but they're good Aiel."
These are the good ones.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Yeah. That's going to be hard to convince the people that were just slaughtered in mass.
It's like, you want to pet my pit bull, and it's like, no, pit bulls bit my.
No, pit bulls put my family
mom
on spikes. I don't understand what you're saying. Right
Another fun fact about the Aiel is that they're heavily modeled after the 12 Hebrew tribes of the Israelites. So Jordan, I don't want to say copied, because he grew this idea from Warriors of Altai as well, but he and Herbert, who did Dune, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him and Herbert had very similar ideas on the way they presented their desert people, and it's heavily influenced by the Hebrew mythos. Even Aiel is like a play on Israel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I can hear that for sure.
Anyway,
and like the idea of just wandering in the desert.
Yep. Rand is kind of like Moses or Jesus, even maybe a little bit. I mean, you could see the similarities there and a lot of other stuff, not just finding them and leading them to the promised land out of the waste.
Moses parted the Red Sea. The Aiel are afraid of any sea.
Yep. That's actually, so like the next part is they like on the next page, they're walking around what to them is like a river but they're easily jumping across it. I mean, for the Aiel jumping, they could be jumping 15 feet easy, but still, like, could you imagine them standing next to like the Mississippi River or,
right.
The
Right.
Whitewater or the Arenal or the Erend or any of the other big rivers that run through Randland here. Like, for them, a creek with a trickle of water that you can like scoop up in a spoon is a huge thing. So,
Yeah, any running water, it seems, is wary and suspect.
Exactly. So like the next part there is just really just describing a lot what's going on and the landscape, but there's a specific spot where she makes note of the maidens pausing to stare in amazement at the river and then they jump across it. So it's not even like a really big river.
Yeah, river.
Yeah.
There's a creek.
I'm on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast.
This is the farthest I've ever been from my house. Now this is the farthest I've ever been. Now this is the farthest I've ever.
One small step for man.
one giant leap for Aiel. Well, Moraine is checking the wagons a bit too.
Yeah.
They got some loot, man.
Oh yeah,
they got some loot. And they mentioned. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say about the loot. They mentioned specifically shapes made out of metal, glass, a red crystal chair, 2 child-sized statues of a nude man and woman, rods of bone.
See, I underlined that because they were nude.
Nude
and child-sized. I mean, like gross.
Hey, I'm drinking. Drink.
All right.
Okay. Black materials in varying length. I had that one underlined. It's just varying in length that made me excited.
Materials, quote unquote.
Materials.
Varying
in
length.
It was varying in length.
Length and girth.
Thicknesses.
Yes, length and girth.
Girth.
Length and girth.
It's only 2 inches long, but it's 8 inches wide.
It's like
call it the wheel of cheese.
It's called the wheel of cheese.
Gouda. Anyway, Egwene is commenting on Moraine, paying really close attention to that wagon for obvious reasons. The twisted stone doorway as well is up in that mess of probably incredibly powerful items of the one power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're just moving right along. They're doing a little travel. Moving along.
We have Guy Shane running around, and then they focus for a second in on the maidens who stood guard here. I want to ask Kay what she thinks of this. Why do you think, Kay, that the maidens have the dolls? She specifically singles out noticing the maidens who had stood guard on Rand's tent when they were attacked by Shadow Spawn. They all have dolls
that they started making.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was a big question for me for Josh because I have no idea and I don't understand what that means. The only thing that came to mind was like a voodoo doll, but I have no way to track that or no reason to think that other than just like, oh, that's weird. So all of a sudden they really need some like extra power. So they're just like, we're just going to start making these.
We'll see if Robert Jordan can give you a hint. Robert, so in one of the next chapters, in one of the next paragraphs, Egwene remembers asking one of the maidens why she had it, and she said it was to remind her that she was not a child. But then she said her tone made it clear that she didn't want to talk on the subject. So does that help?
No.
Well, I think even in the last show, when the maidens came back and they saw the 2 Drakkar that were burnt up, or that one Drakkar, and one got evaporated, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we thought it was all safe up here, and we went running down like children to go dance the spears." And Rand's like, "Don't worry about it, forget it. It's forgotten or forgiven."
Not the wise ones though. Cerelia was like.
So he's like, no, you make a doll and you got to carry this doll around like a little baby.
Exactly. Because they were acting like children running down so that they could dance.
Them to act like children. They're punishing them like, like they dress up.
Yeah, anyone who acts like a child needs a doll. Make a doll.
And then they make them run around with dolls. And they're like, you're a little baby.
She also mentions that one of the maidens is 16, which is,
yeah, that's right.
I mean, like it feels young for someone to be like, running with a war band, but I guess,
Well, this all seems kind of, definitely not of our timeline. It all feels, very.
It's
there's
the future,
so many,
but also kind of the past.
Yeah, there's, like
You see, it's like a
evidence
circle.
of evolving creatures and evolving humans, you know, like evolution in that way, but like not a whole lot as far as anything else. Like it's like they've lost all technology, they've lost everything else that makes the world work, and in a more advanced way type of thing. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
It
Am I
does.
making sense?
That is exactly what happened.
We see that what's her name is still being tortured.
Oh yeah.
Kadari's, I don't remember her name, but she's forced to still wear black.
Yeah.
Izadara
Izendra, yeah.
She
There's
is
so many
still
names
being
in
treated
this,
like
and
shit.
with my Lizdexia, it's just like all of the letters get mixed up.
Yeah, Isengar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when do you think that? I mean, when do we
Neurodivergent.
think this torture is going to kind of end for this? This is kind of shitty.
You know what? I think it ends now with this. Because
Oh,
MaTsDaGgerX, what's
MaTsDaGger.
up? Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my goodness.
Running.
Little
MaTsDaGger, no one is better. MaTsDaGger.
I wish I wasn't so
I
sweaty.
can't rhyme with
It was like
better.
106 today here. Are you guys doing all right? You all surviving, puppets?
Yeah, is everyone surviving the heat bubble?
No,
It's
Heat dome?
not at all.
No.
I was doing a little bit of work outside, and it was so hot that like I was soaked, like I had jumped in the pool. My underwear was wet.
yeah.
Everything was wet.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It
I
feels
know.
like
The ass sweats are no fun.
Yeah.
not at all. Not even a little.
I mean, and this is
in your car,
I mean,
and then you have to get out, and then you're like, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
who can check out my crack and make sure it's not drenched?"
can anyone? Anyone?
Oh, anyone?
I volunteer as tribute.
Fine.
We just have like 3 different movie references within like 10 seconds or 5. We're good.
Yep. Welcome to being in my vicinity.
Welcome to the way of the leaf.
You know, but a good thing about the drought is we're finding dead bodies in Lake Mead all the time. You know, the mob was active in the 70s. They were dumping people in Lake Mead all the time. I want to get to there's a bunch of cold cases still in there. Let's just drain that bitch.
I don't know what you're talking about. There is no mob. No such thing.
What are you talking about? There is no mob.
No such thing.
So Couladin laid waste to another fucking town. This time he staked up people all along the road.
Men, women, children.
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
Everyone was killed. There were no survivors in this town.
Couladin's a son of a bee.
He's the opposite of cool.
He is the opposite.
He's Jerkadin.
Cool.
Oh, he's funny because his name sounds like cool. I get it.
He's not cool.
But he's not. But he's not. He's the opposite of the cool. It's the irony, yes. Irony is rich.
And that's kind of where we walk into the they're like Rand and the clan chiefs are mid that conversation there about, you know, looting and hurting people, and Rand yells about hanging people if they, you know, murder anyone for no reason and steal food. But he says they still can take the 5th, which is
he says, I've come to stop Couladin despoiling this land, not to loot it.
It's a good word. Despoiling.
Be spoiling. Hey, be best while her husband is be spoiling.
Yeah.
The 5th I give you. Cheers. Love.
Before that, though, he says a hard message. A hard message, Bale said.
Those are my favorite kind of messages.
Hey.
It's a hard message.
But yeah, so he's basically telling the Aiel that they have to give more respect to the oath breakers than they would normally.
And even Ruark is like, they're just fucking tree killers, man. Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, which is
it's women are like that.
It's an interesting thing to see from characters, who we've really grown to respect over the course of these 5 books. Amis and Avienda and Ruark and everyone. They still were like, they don't care about the Kerheinen. Like kill him. I don't care.
Well, that was interesting also. Yeah, right. Like Avienda. So the personalities were really fascinating to me. And that's part of what I love about these books. And the characters within, because they're changing, and some of them are evolving, and some of them are like devolving, and some of them are just going batshit crazy. And I don't really know totally which ones are which yet. But that's part of the fun, right? And so like Avienda having a softer side, or not softer side, but just having some vulnerability.
Yeah. And that actually comes in a lot in this chapter and the next one too.
Yeah.
Well, is it because she has a Wetlander friend? Could she talk this openly to a fellow Aiel?
I think yes and no. Like I think they talk. I just think it's different. Like they talk more openly about different things. You know what I mean? So like with the Aiel, they would talk more openly about. Not their feelings like that, but
like their duty and like what I don't know.
Well,
they're
much more
color is. I very much have just a visual brain, so
yeah.
So
how redheaded they all are, and pale, and how deserty and haunted.
I'm wondering if this relationship with Egwene is bringing out aspects of Avienda that would not otherwise be. Presented because she's a Wetlander. I mean, is she being a little bit more vulnerable, or is she? I mean, she is like, you're like so dumb about Giotto, but you are following it. Is what's going on? I guess with Avienda and Egwene is it. I think that obviously Egwene is benefiting from being with the Aiel. Are the Aiel benefiting from Egwene?
I think so. But what do you think, Kay?
Okay.
No, I mean, Egwene seems like I'm really concerned. Well, not concerned, just giving thought to the fact that all of these very powerful folks are from Ensfield. So that feels really strange. Again, I think I said this last show, so I just it just feels very odd that they're all from that place. And Egwene seems like a very, very, very strong individual, just like Nynaeve, and just like Perrin, and just like Rand.
Well,
just like
think about this.
Potential, I guess.
What are Rand, Mat, and Perrin?
TAVERN.
Yeah, and what did TAVERN do?
They are in the weaves of the threads of the wheel.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of words there.
If you rearrange them, I'm pretty sure you can get an accurate sentence, brother Tom.
Yeah. It's okay. So the TAVERN, they affect the pattern in some way. Do you remember that?
They weave it.
Well, so every physical item, even a cup or me, hi, everything that exists has a thread in the pattern, right? Some threads are thicker than others.
Giggity.
And TAVERN specifically twist the weaving of the pattern around them. So it makes sense that, having three literal most powerful TAVERN ever to exist in one area may pull other interesting and effectual people to them.
Yeah.
Or even just influence those people to be in positions of power just because they're near them. Not to diminish, Nynaeve's badassdom and Egwene's badassdom, but
Nynaeve, okay.
I mean, listen, she's annoying, but she beat Mogiddy.
She did, and Mogiddy got some beef. Gideon's got a little bit of a something to settle.
Oh yeah.
So
he shamed her a
that's
bit.
fun also.
But yeah, so that's always been my feeling on it is,
Yeah.
because Rand, Matt, and Perrin are so powerful, they actually pulled the others into, I don't want to say into existence because like Nynaeve's older than them, but influenced their fate in such a way to put them into positions where they will be useful and can affect change.
Yeah. So do you think? Wait, but so does that mean that like that the Dark One or the Creator? Like it just feels like one of those, and I just go with the Dark One because I like that one more right now. Don't hate me.
Could never. I could never.
You dark friend. You lovable dark friend.
Yeah, little scamp.
Yes.
I just, I
it's
like
just a face, Tom. It's just a
face. It's nice. And I think it's going to be good stuff. But anyways, so, what was I going to say?
Influencing the pattern.
Oh, yes. So, nope, that almost got there with the thought of.
Oh.
It's all good.
Oh, we got to pause. Oh, no.
Full thought.
Oh, there she goes.
There you are. You're coming back.
Coming back. Yay!
There you are. You're back.
She's back. Yay!
You're back.
It's a little jumpy, but we're good.
Am I jumpy?
You're good. Decided to just take a 10-minute break real fast. It was like, I'm Union. Bye.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm Union.
Brother Dan, do you want to zoom in on me for a second? I'll point out where we are currently.
Yes,
let's get a map quest.
Yeah, I'll map quest us. So currently we are over here in just west of Cairhine, right about a little further, like right around here.
Okay. Awesome.
That's where we are currently. I actually put pins in the map this time. So that I
Let me see how to do this. Hold on. I'm all right. Oh shit! I didn't want to do that.
Look at that hat. It's a lovely hat.
You're back.
Right,
You're back.
She's gone.
Oh no! Oh no! Hey, let's just do a Clint Eastwood talking to Obama in a chair.
Feeling lucky.
You can't get rid of me for long.
Mr. President, what do you have to say about this?
No, we're just saying goodnight to the kiddo.
Good evening.
I'm glad.
Kiddo.
And guys.
Just the guys?
Let me. You know what? Yes, just. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take my hat off.
The beanie of power. The beanie of power is around.
That's why he was reading.
Hey, everybody.
Yay!
Oh, hold on, let me real fast.
And Brother Dan disappeared. It's okay.
We
We
lost
have
him.
a Josh now.
I'm just putting my battle crown back on.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, guys.
You know what? I thought about this just now. I could have just like put Puppet Ryan on my hand and pretended like he was here.
Oh, that's funny. And you just be like, so
That'd be pretty good.
You'd be like, vagina, and we'd all laugh.
Sleep on my shoulder or whatever.
He said vagina.
Welcome.
What's up, Sussy Josh?
Nice.
What's up?
Hey, it's good to see you, man.
Likewise.
So we're a few pages into the first chapter, right on schedule.
Yeah, right.
45 minutes in, 2 pages. And not even Ryan here to derail you.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Well,
we were vamping till you got here.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
We're at the part where a wise one is just talking to Avienda now. And she's like, hey, so
flyers, we totally went through lots of the chapter, and they're just like, hey, we didn't talk about much. So you feel free to share all of your actual thoughts.
Wise one is talking to Avienda. So we're still in 23?
Correct.
Yes, we are on chapter 23, and we're currently when Cerelia comes over and starts, Cerelia-ing at Egwene.
Leaning into them.
Yeah, so apparently this hilt and rubies thing that Rand gave back to Avienda is being considered a quote unquote interest gift.
Interest gift, that's what it was.
Yeah.
He's interested in that A.
No, apparently not. Like, you fuck him yet? And she's like, no, he won't let me. It's a drag. And Soraya agrees. She says, so he has not captured your eye. A pity. It would bind him to us. He sees too many people as is now. She's like, I'll have Farron look at you. Those hips were made for babes.
Oh, yeah, I'll drink to that.
Right? Oh my! No, wait, what? No,
those hips were made for babes.
Yeah, no, I made a note there that was like, no, what is this? This is silly. Wait, why though?
What did she say too? She says
as a purpose. See, this is that whole thing that we were kind of talking about. We were alluding to earlier, where it's like, oh man, the mind frame of this era is like very old schooly to how we think now.
Here's what I think, Kay. I think that a lot of the Aiel are emaciated, like women. They're like really thin, like fit, not emaciated, I guess, but they just, but Avienda has them big boobies and has these mama hips, and Cerelia has no tact, and she's like, you better give.
You better serve.
I need a litter from you, girl.
A little bit of the indigenous American influence that Robert Jordan has when he made the Aiel leaked into that statement too, where she says you have duties to the people.
Yeah,
you have more duties to the people than learning, because that's like that's how she refers to the Aiel as the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's them boobies and them hips.
Like a king and queen's duty. At some point.
I do like how Cerelia says, in my day, girls jumped when wise ones said jump and continued jumping until they were told to stop.
And as I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, it's still my day. Yeah, it was fantastic. I feel like someone said that to Robert Jordan at some point in his life. And he's like, oh, that's going in the book.
That's going in the book.
All right.
What that reminded me of was, have you ever seen Coming to America?
Oh.
And Eddie Murphy goes, bark like a dog. Hop on one foot. No, not sexual chocolate.
Sorry.
Hop on one leg. Bark like a dog. She's like, yip, like a big dog. Woof, woof, woof.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, get out of here. And she kept doing it. She's going, woof,
it was like days later, and then they see him, then she sees Eddie Murphy sees her.
And she's still woofing.
And she's like, still on one leg.
That boy good. He good.
Yeah.
Good and terrible.
Nice reference.
Chocolate.
Nice.
Do you remember the song they sang?
I believe the children are future.
Thank you. And he says thank you. He said thank you to that one barber clapping.
Yep.
I believe
that boy good. He good.
Future. Thank you.
Sorry. That movie holds a special place. My friend, there's a group that's less my friends and more our family. We quote it all the time.
Let your soul light. Hey, those hips were made for babes, and that's just what they'll do.
That's one of Samuel L. Jackson's first speaking lines in a movie, too.
I'm gonna babe all over you. Boom.
All right, back to the book. Back to the book.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're doing a thing. There's like people watching. Where's the Patreon button? Hit the Patreon button.
Well, that's just what they'll do. But you should have a choice about what you do after you do.
We gotta buy alcohol. We gotta buy more alcohol. Go to the Patreon.
Huh.
Yeah, well, they're essentially saying, hey, Avienda, fuck, get pregnant, and give away your children.
Yeah, kinda. It's a little rough. They're a little rough there with her.
Ugh.
Hey, lit her up, Buttercup.
Do wise women give away their children too? I thought it was just
No, it's just
Hard
the
Day is Mine.
just the maidens.
Oh, that's a good question. Do we hear about any wise women's children or offspring?
Wise women's children or offspring. Nah. Do we know of any, Josh?
The wise one. I know the wise ones keep their children. They do keep their children. I know that, but I don't recall
I'm not sure if we hear of any.
seeing any on screen, like on screen. You know what I mean? With children.
But I mean, most of the wise ones we've met are past menopause. I mean, if they have children, they're in their 30s.
Ice cold. Listen, Amis could bear children whenever she wants because she's amazing.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I mean, Sorlia says about Ferran, his great father is my sister's son.
So his grandfather is
her sister wife's child.
I'm confused. Nope, I'm lost.
Hold on. I know what you're talking about. I thought that she said. Wait, what did she say?
Sister son, I assume, means that you're married 2 women to a man, and that it's the child of the other woman.
Wait, did she say sister son or
sister son? Yeah. His great father is my sister's son.
Yes, the great father is the part that I remember, and then sister son made no sense to me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, nephew, right?
I don't know.
Like sisters.
My sister's son.
And they just.
I don't know.
So maybe it's her sister wives' son.
That's what I'm thinking, Tom. Yeah, not blood nephew, but sister wives.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, maybe. Well, all right. So Cerelia and then
sister, son.
Okay, and what is the Siadun?
The Siadun is one of the Seps.
The Seps?
Or the Black Eyes. Yeah, the Black Eyes.
Yeah, the Black-Eyed Peas.
And Couladin was a black eye, despite being from a different tribe.
Yes. So the Maidens of the Spear, the Fardari's Mai, that's a society.
Right. That's one of the Seps.
So like
also.
there are
12 or something.
Yeah.
Seps.
I think Sept is no. So that's a society. So there's clan, Sept, and society. So like Avienda was Avienda of the Fardari's Mai of the Tardad Aiel. So
where's the third vector in that name?
Cold Valley's Sept of the Tardad Aiel.
Right. So to that point, then Couladin is part of the Shido, but also part of this
Siadun. So that's their society is the Siadun.
I thought society and Sept were the same thing.
No, they're different. There's
Sept is
steps. I don't know them all off the top of my head.
Is choice. I think
society is kind of like where they're from, like the area. I think. Cold Rocks Hold.
The Black-Eyed Peas. Yeah, they vowed not to sleep beneath a roof or tent until he's dead.
Chat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's clan, so like Shido and blah blah blah, and then society is like Fardari's Mai, Siadun, stuff like that, and then Sept is like the area you're from. Yeah, there you go. See, Sept is where you. What a holocaust!
Sept is where you live. Society is who your homies are. And clan is all your relations.
Yep, that's how it goes. It's confusing on purpose. That's like it's confusing to everyone but Aiel. Just like literally every character says.
Yeah, society is like a hunting group or a fighting group or something. So that's what the Black Eyes, the Stone Dogs, the
All of the other 9 million that there are.
It's like a gang.
Amazing.
I do like how it transcends clans.
Clans are divided into septs into holding, and then societies cross-cut clans.
Yeah.
Correct. So you can have stone dogs from various clans.
Correct.
And in fact, the like if you're both stone dogs, even though your clans have a blood feud, you don't. Because
or it might affect you differently because of the thing.
Yeah.
So they kind of just share a little bit of gossip, kind of about some of the Aiel. Avienda and Egwene talk about Rand. Avienda resolves herself to having to sleep in Rand's tent still, and then Egwene is obviously heading off to the World of Dreams, and that pretty much is that chapter. Since you hopped in late there, Josh, is there anything that you wanted to in this chapter that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think there's anything else.
There was the mention in the beginning of the chapter of some of the items of power that Maureen was guarding in the wagon, but nothing too specific other than the twisted doorway.
The twisted doorway, yeah.
The other stuff, we don't really know what it is yet, or if ever. There was a lot of drinking obligations, I will say that. There was bare legs, skirts going up.
So at the end, we have Avienda, who had earlier asked Egwene, "Hey, you got to talk to these wise ones. I can't fucking sleep in this guy's tent anymore."
Yeah.
At the end, she says, "No, Egwene, I must obey the wise ones. Giotto requires it." And she's like, "Avienda, no one's gonna make you marry or have babies." And she answers, "You do not understand," the other woman said softly, "and I cannot explain it to you." Does Giotto extend to arranged marriages?
I don't think it's a really arranged marriages, but
I thought the Giotto was about having kids for the tribe.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's also the wise ones gave her an order. It's not up to her to question it.
Exactly. It does seem like there's just no room for her to even ask anything. From what I heard. Oh shoot! Is it better now?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay, then that is Discord's fault.
Naughty Discord, you're naughty.
Naughty Discord. Anyways, yes. What was I talking about?
At the end.
Which part?
That
happens.
Getting the Rand G-Toe.
Yeah, I totally went blank.
I had said that that following the wise one's orders was part of G-Toe.
Oh yeah, she has no wiggle room to even question things. That's just all I was saying.
Yeah,
I already said it.
Yeah.
Why is it that my duty to the people never what I wish? And why must it be what I would rather die before doing?
It does seem like a really shitty situation, to be frank. I would not want to.
Is she referring to having sex with Rand there?
I thought it was a duty to bear children in general.
Right, but the original impetus from Sorlia was for her to have sex with Rand.
Kind of.
Bind him to the Aiel.
Yeah. It's less have sex with him and more literally marry him. That's why she says,
Are there other ways to bind?
Well, and the way that the wise ones see it is that Sorlia is like, "Oh, he gave you an interest gift that no one has ever gotten before. That's pretty awesome."
Yeah.
And she's like, No. She's
like,
well,
and in the Aiel's mind, like that means Rand wants to marry her, probably. That's like the way
he's now doubled down because he already did it with the necklace.
Exactly. So it's like in the Aiel's eyes, that means damn, like he's saying, "I want to marry you."
Josh.
Right. So she's like, "All right, well, I'll have this other dude look at you.
Yeah.
Who's handsome. He looks good, but he laughs like a braying mule."
Yeah.
At his ears.
Look at you. It's like I thought that the women were the ones in control. So why is a man looking at her?
Maybe the wise women are the ultimate control. Maybe they can arrange shit.
There is weird.
They do seem to have a weird amount of like authority.
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
Yeah, they're very demanding, though. I mean, like it's.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they're demanding of each other, though, as well, and demanding of everybody else outside of their own culture.
Yeah.
So, including like the most powerful person that comes with the dawn.
Hey, how about?
So, the beginning of the next chapter isn't too much going on, other than
Rand should be called "Accidentally Comes with the Dawn."
Maturely comes with the dawn.
He wakes up way too early because
only when he wakes erect. Yeah.
Yeah, chapter 24 in
come
message
with
sent.
dawn.
We have a sun icon, and it's an Egwin chapter.
Yeah, I think the icon is more for their location and less for the people in the chapter, I guess. Because that's the symbol of Karri.
Right.
So there is a book that's mentioned right off the bat. Egwin is kind of reading a book from Avienda about the adventures of Brigitte and Guido Kane. It is called The Flame, the Blood, and the Heart. And there was a little line here that I thought in rereading that this might be Robert Jordan talking about fantasy in general. It says, quote, "It was hardly the sort of enjoyment a woman with any pretensions to sense at all could confess publicly." So we can either say it's like a Danielle Steele novel, kind of 50 Shades of Grey, but we can also say like, reading.
No, this was Avienda's fat little book of smut.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
All right.
That's literally the note I wrote.
Because she said every single story had a love.
It's a romantic.
Yes, and
it's the romantic fantasy.
Yeah.
Of this world.
Yeah.
The Flame.
Danielle Steele.
Heart.
Danielle Steele is the ideal.
No, I think it's.
Did it have a pirate on the cover with his shirt off?
Yeah, a guy with his shirt off with his hair blowing in the wind.
Guido Kane with his shirt off.
It was.
Where is Ryan's puppet chest hair when we need it?
I know, right?
I can't believe it's not butter.
Thrown on with a Sharpie.
It was.
Can I find him?
She's just kind of reading. She's gonna meet, and she doesn't try to fall asleep, but she falls asleep.
But she also there was one earlier drinking thing that I found that it was she didn't recognize the dark meat.
Oh, so good! What an eye! What an eye, Tom!
I have an eye for all of the penile references.
I'm so happy.
And she is eating like more or less. It sounds like Mediterranean food. It looks like she has either a pita, a sort of like naan bread, or a tortilla that she is eating some sort of thing.
Dried peppers, beans.
I think it's like New Mexican cuisine.
I was gonna say
So is it tortilla?
It could be Hindu or Indian or Mexican or.
That's why I think New Mexican, because it's like it's both indigenous, influenced by indigenous and the native peppers in the United States. Plus, it has the flatbread component.
Yeah.
As well. But
see, food.
I just love food.
Josh,
now I'm hungry. Damn it.
Yeah, that sounds really good right now.
Where's my Reese's?
Some stew with
now I want some garlic naan.
I know.
I want some
really
dark
want
meat.
some
I don't
naan.
recognize.
I want some dark meat. I want some mystery dark meat curry and garlic naan.
I'll be
want some
right back.
street food shit.
It's good, right?
She's going to look for some dark meat.
Yep.
I knew it. So not too much going on. Oh, I have to go meet Nynaeve, but I shouldn't go yet. And Elaine likes adventure, and Nynaeve better still be scared of me. And
well, she does. She's like. So, what do you think, Josh, about like this new attitude with Egwin? where it says, "quote She had a vague thought of taking Nynaeve by the scruff of the neck and shaking her. Silly. Nynaeve was years the older."
That was terrible.
But she's in her own mind. She is changing the dynamic that she has always held.
Yeah.
Nynaeve was always the one in power. She's the wisdom. She even when they were traveling, Nynaeve kind of made the decisions. But now that there's a separation, she's like, fuck that bitch.
Is she, or is she just coming into her own power?
Yep.
And like recognizing that she doesn't have to be put under Nynaeve's thumb, and that she doesn't like Nynaeve's bad attitude, which none of us do.
Yeah. She's also learning from the wise ones, so she has like this slightly superior attitude, I feel like, because the most Nynaeve has had is wisdom training, and she's going to then study to be an Aes Sedai, where Egwene is learning from the wise ones, who
Right.
in some ways I feel like Egwene views,
And she sees herself as an Aiel now, despite right, like she appears in Tel'aran'rhiod in
the Algode and with the brown
Yeah,
skirt.
clothes. And I love this comment from the last chapter too. Making Nynaeve step back was one thing, and trying the same with Sorlia quite another. It would be like standing in the path of a landslide and telling it to stop.
Nice.
God.
Yeah.
So we have
Sorlia-
Egwene has been like calling out Rand as far as being haughty or I don't remember the time. I wish he wasn't so
Arrogant. She
Arrogant,
uses
that's
that
it.
arrogance. Yeah.
But Elaine later calls her out and says, "Oh,
Yeah.
it seems like you're picking up some of this stuff. Is this just what?" To your point, Tom, is this just what the Aiel do? Like when you're around them a lot, you just kind of start fucking talking like these people, and it looks like arrogance.
I'm sure that's part of it, but Elaine also says in that part, she references how they're gaining like kind of like the voice of a leader. Like they're both taking on leadership qualities.
Who said that?
Elaine, when she's talking to Egwene about how Rand has been acting.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little bit later in the chapter.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No."
She says Rand has to be this way.
Yeah. She actually
Because
compliments.
he's like a king, and
Yeah.
he's thinking like a king, and
And Sorlia mentioned something about that too.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Like he's not being arrogant. He's not like what he's doing is good.
Right.
Yeah.
He needs to behave this way because he is
Yeah.
the chief of chiefs.
The chief of chiefs. Yeah.
So that's what Sarah Layer says. She says, "quote He must show that mangy pack of wolves that he is the chief wolf. A chief must be harder than other men." Giggity, youngest Aes Sedai.
Oh yeah, that's a drinking.
Harder than other chiefs.
I have to refill.
Okay.
I told you, but you don't have to worry. Like the last two chapters, there's like one.
Okay, good. So we're slowing down.
Yeah.
Like I do have to. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, it's not just, and I think the important thing is it's not about Nynaeve. It's about Egwene coming into her own power, right?
Yeah. So Egwene, it seems like Egwene is taking on leadership qualities as well. In the way she's that, the way that she's behaving, since they say like she's behaving similarly.
Mm-hmm.
So we start off, but to jump back to the beginning of the chapter.
Oh, the thing that I had a note about here is, could this be the crack that is leveraged by the Dark Friends to get into Egwene?
All right.
But this is the kind of thing that like could become problematic down the line, right? Is like this thought here. She could be as strong as any of these women, as strong and brave as Denison or Naranin or Melisande or even Brigitte, as strong as Avienda.
Yeah.
As strong as Avienda.
Well, she views, and that's Egwene, how Egwene views Avienda, right?
Right. And it's like, so how much of this is from her close relations with her and the other Aiel versus her own self-perception is kind of an interesting question to ask.
Yeah.
Right. It seems like the Aiel way is the ultimate goal. Could she be as strong as even Avienda?
Right.
And not in terms of the power, but like as a person.
As a person, yeah.
Yeah, and it's also says something to how she views Avienda. She views Avienda as this, very strong, stalwart person. Where probably if you were to ask Avienda that question, she would say, "I couldn't hold a candle to Egwene."
Right, but and we've already seen this with the way that the wise ones play them off one another.
Oh yeah. So I marked a part here that I wanted to ask you, Josh, and see what you thought about this. So jumping back to the beginning of the chapter here, right in the beginning, when Egwene first goes into Tel'aran'rhiod, she hears voices and she embraces Saidar. And when she does that, she says, the wise ones claimed that control of Tel'aran'rhiod was as strong as the power here.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that? Like, how do you think that plays out in what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, we see the one power in the real world, and it is a monster. I mean, do you agree with that assertion that Dreamwalkers can essentially become powerful channelers in their world, I guess?
Or that the way that she's saying it is control of Tel'aran'rhiod is different,
equivalent to the one power in the real world.
Exactly.
And I mean, the end of the chapter, I think, is the best. I mean, if you go to the very end of the chapter,
yeah,
where we see, or I guess it's not this chapter, it's
might be the next one.
The next chapter, where we see that Moghedien is the one who is manipulating Egwene's experiences. I would say the answer is yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that she's pulling Egwene's memories and dreams out of her head and manifesting them around Egwene. Because, there's no way she would know some of those things. She has to be pulling them from Egwene.
Yeah, she didn't even know the village, but she pulled out her mom.
Exactly.
Right.
Pulled out Gowan, said, here's a child. You want a child? It's pretty interesting. Baby doesn't even cry. It's perfect.
It's almost a completely separate magic system. Like, you have the one power, and then you have manipulating Tel'aran'rhiod.
And I wonder if this ties back to the thing that Lanfear uses that is separate from the one power as well. In terms of like her, but she's using it in the real world as opposed to within Tel'aran'rhiod. So,
and can you correct me, because I wasn't reading along with y'all when you did the first 4 books, so my brain is a little jumbled where and when the rest of that is introduced and stuff. So what do you know about that?
It's my supposition at the moment.
Yeah, I know. What do you know about what that is?
We don't know a whole lot. I just know that when Lanfear shapeshifts, women who can channel do not see the glow of Saidar around her.
Okay.
And Lanfear has mentioned once or twice about the use of magic, essentially, for lack of a better term, outside of the confines of the yin and the yang of Saidin and Saidar.
Yeah. Yep, that's going to be a big old raffo.
Yeah.
I love being able to do that. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, right. It's empowering.
The power.
I'm staring down Brother Tom in Discord, like looking for facial.
I have to make a quick comment. Speaking of staring at me in Discord, so apparently my wife heard me screaming about garlic naan, and she brought me some garlic naan, and I'm so excited right now.
Oh my God. Wonderful wife! Oh my gosh! Wow. Can
I love Josh's
I
stuff.
have garlic naan too?
Sure. Come
Oh,
on over.
FartVader.
Garlic naan. I'll see if it works in my house. I'm not sure. We'll see.
None for you.
Will it?
None for me.
Okay. So, Elaine was talking to Brigitte, and Egwene saw that. So that's, probably going to come up again at some point.
Yes, you are pretty great, Aaron.
Well, it's funny that Egwene's like, I was just reading your book, and there you are.
Right.
What? Hold on, let me rub my eyes. It's still
almost
there.
like something twisted fate.
It's some crazy stuff that happens here on the
The Telegram is like a weird hallucinogenic place sometimes. I mean,
Okay.
you can see shit and it's not really there.
Hey,
You gotta rub
isn't
your eyes.
that what makes the world go round?
You're like,
Oh.
it's kicking in.
Right?
Is that a
it's
hero of the
perfect.
horn? Oh no. My stomach's really
Oh.
tingling.
We also get an arms folded beneath their breasts when the wise ones
Oh, the
find
best.
Egwene.
The best of the breast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Sweat check.
the fact that she
Very
says,
hot out. Anyways, sorry. Very warm.
you need to take something off?
It's just very warm. They
It's
were doing
super
the
hot.
breast, the
Me
under
too.
the breast check
Yeah.
thing, and I was like, yeah, that tracks right now. It's very specifically like warm. We were talking about this earlier, Josh. You weren't here for that conversation, so
Josh, the pits and the folds are you become
you wouldn't know
very
anything
sweaty.
about heat in Florida, Josh. Okay,
Oh, I know all
so
about
just
it.
don't talk to me. In California, where it is
Boob
currently
sweat.
like 90.
Well, Josh has like essential air.
Boob sweat is the way of life in
Florida's
Florida.
prepared for it.
It's just well, it seems to be.
You don't even need boobs to have boob sweat in Florida.
No,
That's how hot
this
it
is not. I'm not I'm not working with much, but it's happening.
Still.
Happening.
Mm.
The fact that Egwene says she'd almost grown accustomed to the feel of unseen eyes in this vast chamber.
Yeah. Everyone
And
always
then-
makes that comment in there, right?
Yeah, they always feel that, but then we learn that there were unseen eyes watching. And this is something we've seen again and again with the Forsaken. Like going all the way back to the gray man with the arrow in the tower,
Mm-hmm.
and Rand in was he in the tower? Wherever Rand was, where he was trying to escape from it, and he was seeing eyes, felt eyes on his back all the time.
Even where there was Mashadar.
Mashadar, yeah.
Maybe could this be maybe
Or anything?
a sense that they just are unaware of?
Do you think that whenever there's unseen eyes, there's actual eyes?
I mean, I tend to think of it as the Forsaken. But
okay. Well, we did say Perrin experienced the same thing with Slayer.
right.
Is Slayer Forsaken?
Perrin experienced the same thing with Slayer
Yeah, he felt
in Tel'aran'rhiod.
watched. Correct.
Right. But this happens in the real world too, not just Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and we know Lanfear hangs out here and thinks of it as her domain. Moghedien even mentions it at the end of the chapter.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, fuck!" She thinks she's good. Well, I've got one up on her.
Huh.
So where
Yeah.
did we Oh, there's 2 more drinking obligations in this next part too. Sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. You didn't write it.
Yep.
No,
We
no.
have
You should
Welch-
be sorry. You should be very sorry.
terribly sorry.
We have a special.
We have.
wait.
There's a puppet. There's a felt buddy coming. Special guest now, here he comes. Oh, hello.
The specialist of guestists.
Ryan, I missed it.
Sure.
Hey, don't let me stop the party.
No,
Lovely. Well, we were about to drink, so it's the perfect time. I might have to welt you from your toes up.
and send you back to your mother until you were grown enough to be let out of her sight. This thing about like sending women back to their mother is a recurring theme as well. So this whole thing constitutes a nice stringy obligation. Whenever we have the threat of violence where it's like it would fucking hurt so bad.
Yeah. I'll wet you from your head down to your
I'll
toes.
welt you from your toes on up. Welts on your toes. Gross, guys.
Toe welts.
Toe welt.
I won't kink shame.
Disgusting.
The next one is like one paragraph later when there's hackles standing erect.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to quote Norm Macdonald has a joke that he said he got into BDSM, and his safe word was boring.
Wow. Well, that would pop you in your tracks, wouldn't it?
That's wonderful.
Yeah, mine was ow. And
Well,
I never got anything out of it. What?
mine was stop.
Are you okay?
All I have is
I'll let chat guess what mine is.
This is the vestige of my BDSM days. Is this metal?
Chat, what is Tom's safe word?
Brother Dan, let's get it. How did it feel to not have me anchoring the show? I was wondering, did you feel adrift on a sea?
Yeah, I think we have enough of a structure, and Tom has been great. And I've been pulling your role in just like being the color commentator. Tom's been rolling with the play-by-play here.
He calls that color.
Color
Okay,
commentator, yeah.
that was great try, Dan.
Also, no.
What?
Just kidding.
What?
What?
I'm confused.
What?
No, you're doing great. Everyone's doing great. I'm sorry, I just came in. Bring the heat.
Say hello to my little friend.
Ryan, keep the heat in your own house, would you?
Yeah,
Keep your heat under your wife's breast. And sweat.
What?
What did I miss?
Boob sweat.
I'll watch
There's
the
a lot of
replay.
boob sweat. Butt sweat.
Well, let's get into it.
We were talking about sweaty under boobs, darling.
Yep.
That's all.
So Egwin is just meeting with Elaine and the Wise Ones right now in Teleran, and she's trying to pass kind of coded messages. She says, quote, in fact, I wish I had both of you alone. If we were in the tower in our old rooms, I'd say a few words to the pair of you. Wink, wink, wink. Nudge, 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 nudge. She doesn't know if she gets the hint, but that's kind of the message she was saying. She's like, I need to talk to you guys alone.
Yeah, and she's scolding her because Nynaeve have gotten to a literal physical fight.
Right.
Fucking fist fight. Where it says, quote, Para had to carry Laurel to the wagon, and I doubt she'll put her nose out for some time.
It sounds like Egwene can throw hands. I mean, Nynaeve can throw hands, man. Like, damn.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's ground and pound shit.
Like, pistol packing mama that doesn't give a flying F, right now. It
You're
seems
true.
like, anyways. I'm not fond of her. We know this, but she's kind of off the rails.
All right, soundtrack check. What is the song of this fight? What is sound? If you
Man,
This is my fight song.
I'm thinking Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar.
we are young.
That's the only fight.
Yeah.
Fight song. That's the only thing.
Josh, you got a song?
Right.
1972 electric avant-garde.
I'm going with the Sunday Bloody Sunday.
I'm thinking Philip Glass.
No, what?
Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
The period mix?
Yeah, the period mix.
Did Moby do a period mix of Sunday Bloody Sunday?
No, Moby didn't. But
I'm bad with music.
in a movie somewhere, some sort of cute rom-com where the guy makes the girl a period mix, and it's like Sunday, Bloody Sunday. Frank Sinatra.
Red wine.
Yes, red wine.
Okay, okay.
All the things. It's oh gosh, I can't think
Red
of any
Rain.
of them at the moment.
Oh, great.
I have a feeling it would be like
Getting them all.
I feel like it would be like an Avril Lavigne song.
Come on. Okay, wait. I know Dovie's got these. Dovie's got me. Where is she?
Well,
All right. Well,
we'll come back to that.
Period mix.
Will we now, Tom? Do we have to?
We'll mix the periods later.
Hey, just because you're the only identifying, or I'm the only identifying female. Whoops.
currently,
Currently.
things can change.
Things can change.
So, I mean, let's just think about like what Elaine and Nynaeve, they just joined this menagerie not that long ago.
They do
And they're
say
fucking
menagerie.
troublemakers, man. They're flirting with dudes, starting fights. Luca doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's punishing everyone, which is like weird.
Yeah, it's like in basketball practice when you miss a free throw and they made everyone run laps. It's like
Right.
free throw.
And it's like, and she said, quote, I thought Nynaeve was going to box his ears as well. Boxing ears is dangerous.
It's true. That's how you can make people go deaf like that.
You can make people go deaf. You can rupture eardrums.
You can miss at the temple and kill a person.
You can kill a person.
Yeah, I mean, what if you accidentally rectangle in here? Case Nice and I, was there group punishment in the ballet world?
What?
Group punishment, like in a basketball camp. If you miss a free throw, everyone ran a lap, and it was like it was pressure.
If someone fucked up a pirouette, did everyone have to do like
if you missed a pirouette, was just like, all right, everyone,
Everybody do 10,000 pirouettes now because that bitch didn't land it correctly. That sometimes happened actually with a certain Russian instructor that I did have.
Oh, was it Yurgay Yashibashikov?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I know my Russian ballet instructors for.
You do.
I do.
All right, where are we at, Tom?
This chapter's pretty much over. There's nothing else that really happens there. They tell the wise ones
ending everything. Jesus, should I just leave? Sorry.
Brother Denzel. No.
We're about to take a break. Ryan jumped in right before the break and is just hot as hell right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're about to take a break. Hey, you may have taken the last hour and 28 minutes off, but we didn't.
And Dan, he's always
we can do
hot. All right. But yeah, so that's pretty much the end of the chapter. They just update them on what's happened with their two groups, that which we already know from the last two chapters. We don't learn anything new there.
We learned that the Shanshin in the menagerie, that Elaine put the Adam on herself.
Oh, wait, I did underline that. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
we have
an Adam now.
There, yeah. And that Nynaeve still doesn't remember where these blues are meeting.
So clearly, Mo Gideon's about to be wearing the Adam.
What?
Okay.
Prediction.
So Sally Dara is more or less if I just said, hey, let's go talk to Tallahassee, Josh. Tallahassee. Or Fort Slaughter Bear.
So
You know what we're talking about.
We'll go to
Sandra
Sandra
and
Tonto's house.
Saladar is like the worst code in the world, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
Man, I can really put a hat in this thing.
We're going to Austin, Texas.
Wow.
Okay, Austin, Texas. All right, anyways.
And I lost some angles over here.
Lost angles, huh?
Yeah.
Was it in a valley?
Yeah, it was right next where I sacked this Mento.
Oh no.
I sacked this Memento over here.
Memento?
Yeah, I sacked a Memento. I don't know whose it was.
No. That's very close to the lawn Coster.
What?
Okay then.
I do like that they mentioned.
Okay then.
we finally find out for sure who the daughter of the Nine Moons is.
You don't know where
The court of the Nine Moons.
The queen, the supreme ruler queen of the Seichan has to be the daughter of the Nine Moons.
So there's many implications to that, huh, Josh?
That's who Matt is destined to marry. Yes.
Right?
Well, if the high court, like the Queen's Court, let's say of the Shanshan is called the Nine Moons, then the daughter of the Nine Moons would be.
I would assume the ruler.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Right on.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose it could be the ruler's daughter, but I don't think they have children. Go ahead, Kay. I'm sorry.
No, I totally interrupted you because I do that. Sorry.
Interrupt away. Do it.
I have children. You're saying. Yeah. So the daughter of the Nine Moons, and that's just yes. So do you think that Matt's going to just become like this crazy? Do you think he's going to become like more of a ruler type, like the hero of the horn? Like he's going to be like the person that like leads all the heroes of the horn to the last battle? Or do you think
maybe
he's going to become more like they were referencing like him standing in the shadow of Rand the last time? And then I don't know. I'm like kind of trying to figure out what that means. Buddied up with Gleeman and all this stuff.
Well, remember that the Sanshin see themselves as the descendants of the heroes of the horn.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
They were the descendants of Arthur Hawkwing.
Water Hawkwing.
Right.
Who is in fact the hero of the horn?
Who is the hero of the horn? Is he not?
Hey.
Okay.
Are all the heroes descendants of Arthur Hawkwing?
All I mean is that philosophically speaking, they see themselves as the true heirs to the hero of the horn, the last hero of the horn. And right. Matt is the current horn blower, and now he's destined to marry the queen of those people. It just seems very Robert Jordan.
It's all interlocking.
Well, and like Danley
says, makes more sense now.
Look what Danley's saying there.
Matt cannot stand.
Right, that's the point.
It's true.
Yeah.
Knobs.
Do you want to jump into the next chapter? Do you want to?
No, let's go ahead and take a break. I think.
Break time.
Yeah.
Well, if we're doing one more chapter,
Oh yeah, Ryan's been here for so long.
I know.
Exhausted.
If you want, I'll take a little break. Ryan can take over. I just need a little.
Alrighty,
Ryan, you take over.
Ryan will take over. Black Pirates.
Well, but also I need a break. So.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back for the next chapter.
Continue for a sec.
No, just keep on going on. I'll be
next
back.
chapter.
Bella Horse. Bella horse. Bella horse. Bella horse. Run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save Edwin. Save the world. Save the world. Gotta save the world. Save the world. Bella!
Are you weak and lacking power? Are you barely paid by the hour? Why don't you join our wholesome group? Instantly be in the loop. Join the Shadow Pals and we will have some fun. We'll hunt some villagers and farm us on the run. Come join the Shadow Pals, I bet you'll rise in rank. Would not be imprisoned, some were cold and dank. Join the Shadow Pals. Join the Shadow Pals. Join the Shadow Pals.
The traffic.
I can't read
The boss. The baby. The dog. That does it. Calgon, take me away.
Lose your cares in the luxury of a Calgon bath. Calgon softens the water to leave skin feeling silky smooth as it lifts your spirits. The soft, luxurious, fragrant world of Calgon.
I love it.
Pamper yourself with a Calgon bath. Lose yourself in luxury.
brain is just meat and electricity.
The time is up.
All right, we're back.
Oh no! Hello, friends.
Hello, hello, hello. We're back.
We're back. Just in time to dream of Galad.
Galad.
Do you dream of Galad?
I do.
Glad to say I don't.
Me too.
I dream of both the boys.
I think we're gonna have to call a tip line for that one.
I share Egwin's dreams. Every time she has a sexy dream, I'm there.
Sexy.
Do you see yourself as Gawain?
How about that, Ryan?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Good to see you outdoors, Taint.
Yeah, hey, that was a real left-handed compliment there.
It's all good. We'll take
Only
it.
this half of the screen. Well, this half of the screen.
No, but I mean, actually, Josh, tell him. I don't know if everyone actually knows that a lot of the music that we feature on this show is our band, you and I, from back in the day.
Actually, how was your festival this weekend, Josh?
It was fun.
A lot of good turnout.
Yeah, good turnout. DJing went well. Yeah, it was a blast.
Was everyone naked?
Nope.
Wasn't a naked festival?
It wasn't
No,
a
I
naked
mean
festival.
we did another festival and a lot of people were naked. It was weird.
Totally different group.
Josh,
Okay.
if you're naked in a festival, do you still wear the beanie?
That's
No.
what I was gonna ask.
I'm usually only naked if I'm swimming, so
No, he puts it on the other head.
You don't have a swimming beanie?
Nope,
he
no
does.
swimming beanie.
It's just about this big.
Smaller. Smaller.
No, it's like a tuna can. We already described this.
Like a block of cheese.
2 inches long, 8 inches wide, right? Right, Josh? That's what we. Isn't that
Scrapes
canon?
the shit out of the sides.
It's canon.
ouch.
Ouch. Just like a roto-rooter.
This feels different.
So anyway, dreams of
Well, of
Galad.
course, Tank, you're here for these jokes and for these jokes alone. Don't
You're
kid
welcome.
yourself.
We wrote this all down.
We
We
playing
planned
Vivaldi every week, and you'd still be here.
So
Wait, we're not
Egwene's-
playing Vivaldi every week?
what?
We are.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, what?
Peace.
What are we doing?
Bye, Josh.
He's sneaky.
No, that sounds like some Eyes Wide Shut game. Playing
So,
Vivaldi.
Josh, I mentioned this to Carissa earlier, but it seems like
Who?
let's talk a tiny bit
Who?
about TAVERN reality.
Who's that?
Egwene is in. Where is she right now? She is in darkness, where she is seeing all these firefly-like dream things that she can recognize that it's people dreaming, and she can just enter them at will. It seems. Where is she? There's the dream world. There's when you're actually dreaming and you don't. So there's let's call TAVERN the aware dream world, the cognizant dream world. There is dreams where you're not aware that you're dreaming. There is also this sort of thing where it's in between kind of everything. I mean, let's talk just a tiny bit about TAVERN here. Where is she right now?
I assume she's in the same place that Perrin goes to when we see the windows. And he's disembodied, floating.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
He sees Balsamon.
Hopper took him through, right?
Yeah, and Balsamon blows the dude up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying like you think Perrin sees it in one way and Egwene sees it in this way, but they're the same place?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But maybe they see it differently, or maybe those were dreams within the Telleramiad that Perrin saw, and these are just normal dreams. But regardless, they're in like some sort of disembodied state where they're not within a dream themselves, but they're sort of in the interstitial space between the dreams.
Like it's kind of like a ethereal, out of body place where they can see everyone else's dreams. That's what she says.
It's like the cosmos surrounding the stars, which are the consciousness.
Is it like the cream in the oil?
It's described here. It says she seemed to be darkness herself, without substance.
Right, she was disembodied in the same way that Perrin was when he was in that state.
Right, but Perrin seemed to have like these skylights.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
I was just saying, if this is the cream in the Oreo, and Egwene likes Gawain and Galad, is that like a double stuffed Oreo?
Oh, I see.
All right, well, let's take this in.
Speaking of Oreos, I have Lady Gaga Oreos back here.
Here's an actual real question. Is a normal dream always Intel in Rot?
Well,
in this place, in this weird black pinprick light Karri field place?
Well, there's like the dream walking dream, like
so like a dream that is not dreamt by a dreamwalker.
Yeah, good question. What is a normal dream, Sika Squirrel?
What's a
I think they mean a dream that's in your head.
Yeah.
Not a dream that's in the Telleramiad.
Well, and Egwene at the very end of this chapter, she pretty much goes, all right.
She peels off into her own dreams, and she's already talked about.
She goes into her own dream, which is the same fucking dream where she's gonna go bone Gawain.
Yeah.
She was just like, "No, I'm here, no," and leaves, and then goes back into the same dream.
So she in the beginning of this chapter, she says that she can pick out people's dreams. Like she can see them.
That's what I was just about to refer back to. So we've already seen her practice going in and viewing other people's dreams who are nearby to her geographically.
Yeah. And some of these people aren't dreamwalkers, like Moiraine isn't a dreamwalker, so she could see her dream.
Nor is Rand, but she recognizes the wards that they've put on their dreams.
Yeah, because they're dull, yeah.
And she knows that she can't find Elaine and Nynaeve's dreams because they're so far out into the cosmos of this dream world. Their stars are far away. They're not close by where she can sense them.
Well, she says specifically that she would be able to find them if she knew how, no matter how far away.
Right.
But she doesn't know how to find them yet. She doesn't know how to recognize them yet.
Right. But she can recognize the Dreamwalker's dreams and Rand's dreams and Moiraine's.
Yes.
So, Josh,
it's a familiar.
How and Kay, if feel free to jump in. It's kind of more like weird, like esoteric shit. But like, how do you conceptualize what is happening here? What is distance in this world? Are these stars like supposed to be like reminiscent of our star? That as if you're on our planet? Are they just jumping up and then everything's relative? They're floating in space. Are you seeing? What is your conception of this?
Is it just REM? Like she's just the reader of REM.
Great band. It's the end of the world. What do you think, Josh?
Ryan, do you believe they put a man on the moon?
What do you think, Case? Yeah. Well, yeah. There's nothing out there in space. There's nothing at all. Case, I said, when they're talking about the star, the points of light, and she's kind of floating around, or like, what were you thinking about?
I was not thinking about anything. I think I spaced out during points of light. I don't recall points of light.
Yeah, she was thinking about birds, snakes, airplanes, Lenny Bruce.
It was like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Was that the card?
Leonard Bernstein?
Bears and dogs and something. Is that no?
Lions? No, that's when you're like lions and tigers and bears and
that's
lions.
That's what I'm saying. Wasn't that the part then? Is that what we're talking about?
No, we're just on the beginning of the chapter Dreams of Glad, where she's floating in these star areas.
Fireflies, of everyone's dreams.
Yes, she's going through everyone's dreams, but like I thought, wait, what was the question though? I thought that it was more like about Egwene and her abilities.
How do you see this? What do you think of this area that she's in? This area in between the world of dreams and dreams. It
kind of seems like it's just a detachment from the person entirely, right? Because the person, the tangible person that is in the real world is like completely disembodied, right? So it seems like there's more of like a it doesn't feel like a dream to me. It feels like further than a dream, like it's like just a complete.
So is this action she's doing considered like fully dream walking? What? As a dream walker, is that what that means? You're able to walk around these butterflies in a disembodied, or fireflies in a disembodied state, and be able to recognize certain dreams and jump into them? Is that what dream walking is? That like this area? What do you guys think?
It's a combination of being able to enter the Telleramiad and maintain your state there, and the ability to navigate this interstitial space between individuals' dreams as they're embodied within the real world. This is the land of embodied dreams, where each consciousness is represented as a firefly or a star,
or it's like an actual like existence
within the geographically oriented space.
Right. So then like the when that happens, it seems like the actual person that is not associated with whomever, or like the, I don't know, let's just call it like a energy, sorry, energy
or
something, or like a soul type situation ish. I guess I'm not sure how to describe that, but you know what I mean, like
I don't know what you're talking about right now, I'll be honest.
I guess the closest thing I can maybe describe is a soul leaving the body, you know, like the what we understand is like a death or something, like, you know, like, because how it's described, how Robert Jordan described.
Why wouldn't it just be their consciousness as opposed to their soul?
I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it is just the consciousness. I don't know. It might just be the consciousness. That may be a better way to describe it. I don't really know. I'm just like trying to give an example of like what the, like, just a complete.
So it says here, quote, if she ever learned to recognize Elaine and Nynaeve in the same way, she would be able to find them in the great constellation wherever they were in the world.
Yep.
In my head, this seems like a find a phone feature where you have like friends. Is Kate just posing, or is she frozen?
She's frozen.
Awesome.
It's a great pose.
It's a great
pose right there.
Absolutely. Just make it big. Make it big.
All right.
Yeah, everyone get your screenshots ready. There you go. That's a great pose right there. Look at that. Perfect. I love it.
Casting a spell.
What spell is she casting there?
Oops. Bring her back.
That could have been a ballet.
I think of it less as a find your phone feature and more of like, I can recognize that constellation.
Okay.
But so if it's, you said it was geographic, so it doesn't mean that if they are on the other end of the world, she would have to just kind of like push through,
fly to where their dreams are within the constellation of consciousnesses and
she
find
would
it
just
there.
Be able to pick it out just where she's at.
Right. I don't think it's grouped. There's two ways it can be grouped. Geographic, well, I guess there's more than two, but two possible ways of grouping it are geographical proximity and closeness in existential reality are like the two ways it would make sense for it to be grouped.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like nearby her are her friends' dreams. It seems like those people whose dreams are nearby her are those who are she is in proximity to.
You are correct. You are correct. But she is just learning as well.
Right.
So it might be that once she adds them to her contacts, it might be where it's
she gets their friend codes.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? All right. Right on.
Well, Josh, do you remember also how Egwene specifically even learned to find things in the World of Dreams?
Learned to find things.
This is where we need Jeopardy music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't remember.
It was how they ended up getting to Tanchico. That was when we got that whole.
You mean like visualizing in her head the thing and then appearing there?
Or need itself, right?
Yeah. Right.
He does that.
But that was within the Teleranriad, not necessarily within this interstitial space.
No, yeah. So what I'm saying is do you think maybe there's like some sort of tie-in with that, as not with need specifically, but something along those lines, maybe?
Well, it seems like that's what happened with Perrin too. Like he didn't end up over some random dream. He ended up over Balsamon, blowing some dude up, right? Like. So yeah, it does seem like there's a potential for that to be a tool within this environment.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about.
So she ends up fleeing from this area, right? Because she looks in on Amis and Bear, and she.
One last thing, Kay. If she had turned around where she was, would she see her own star?
Oh.
Or would she not because she wasn't dreaming yet?
No, I think she's more aware and more like on a higher level of like a dream situation. The ability of being able to have power and control over the dream world, whatever the heck that means. It just does seem like like Egwene is more of a specifically important person in that world. So I think that she has abilities and she's more insight and is more kind of conscious of what is happening. And then able to like force herself out of it because she goes, no! And then like pulls herself back into her.
So if one of the wise ones decided to check up on her.
Oh, they did though, right?
And popped in to this place where she is in the disembodied cosmos of dreams. Would they be able to recognize that her star was not there because she was not dreaming normally? And or an extension of this, if someone enters the Teleranriad from their normal dream briefly, does their star wink out in this space or does it continue burning?
They kind of answer that within the
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
They address that first question right here, Josh, where it says, quote, had she not seen those,
Don't give her the answer.
The bright things, she would have been in her body in an instant. Those two could rove this darkness much more ably than she. She would not have known they were there until they pounced on her. So she could have been.
So if they were not dreaming, or if they were in Teleranriad, they would not have their star within the cosmos of this space.
Correct. Yeah. So once they're in their their real dream,
in their bodies, back in their bodies.
Right.
I mean, that's it. Yeah. I always assumed she had a star, but like the question of whether a dream marker can see their own star.
That's a real meta.
I think it's a simple. I think it's a simple no. Yeah, I think it's just a simple no.
I'm guessing it's a no because they're disembodied within this space rather than within their own dreams represented as a firefly or as a star.
I would like to ask chat what they think. Maybe I'll start it. I'll do a poll.
Yes, do a poll. Also, ask them which one of us they'd like to punch. But
all right, so
what does this space in the 3 mean?
Every week,
you're lost.
I love it.
So what does the 3 mean? Can you?
What is the 3? Yeah.
What are we referencing in the 3?
Yeah, give us an update on that question and we'll answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about when you say 3. The 3.
But we'll wait on pins and needles.
What?
So she specifically says that, if she hadn't seen those, she would run away because they could sneak up on her in this, which is interesting too, that they would be able to find her as a disembodied blackness floating in blackness. But okay, all right.
Yeah, how would they find them? Do they exude some sort of like energy, like a woman channeling that you can sense it?
It must be. I mean, if she is very confident that they would find her.
Yeah, she's like, fuck that. Yeah, they would pounce on her, is what she said.
She would instantly leave if she would be in her body in an instant. Quote.
Well, this goes back to the idea about geographic proximity, right? Like, if this is oriented in space and time, then they should know where she would be represented as a star if she was in her dream.
I guess ish, yeah.
Oh,
If she's it's like if she has a Google map, like other people can find her on Google Map.
It's like Waze. It's like Waze when everyone has their little dots when they're all using Waze.
It might be moving because she's active and they're like, oh, here she goes again. And they gotta like find her, like track her down. But like
she's moving along the map.
Like a distinct like Google Maps.
And instead of speed check or tire in the road, it's like boop, Dreamwalker ahead, half a mile.
All right. Let's continue on. If you want to finish 26, we can do it. I believe in us.
Oh, I don't think we're getting to 26. We're already.
Did you prepare?
26? I thought we didn't do 23 last week.
No, we're running at 25, guys.
23, 24,
Okay, yeah, we were aiming for 4, but let's just do 3.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, so she ends up back in the tower, and Egwene and Elaine is there. She was able to decipher her message to her little hidden message, and
Elaine won't tell her about Brigitte.
I love this though.
She's like, my lips are sealed.
I mean, she can't. She's pissed. She can't.
Egwene's like, maybe one day you'll trust me. It's like, no,
She's like,
it's not
I can't
that.
do it. I'm gonna.
I like how she says she understands though. She basically says she understands. She said when you can. She starts off.
Yeah.
She starts off saying, "Well, I guess you don't trust me enough," but then she ends saying, "When you can."
When you can.
And gives her a friendly hug, and she's like, "Yeah, okay." Like we have a lot of secrets, and sometimes we just, or Elaine, I think, says like sometimes we just can't tell them for reasons. And then it's like, when you can, when you can.
I do love that there's all these kind of implications that there's someone watching them all throughout these chapters. And it turns out someone is.
It's a little Chekhov's gun there.
Yeah.
He's off. Shoots before the end of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we get allegations. There's a drink. I missed it?
No, right in this next paragraph.
The dark one.
When she asked about Rand, is Rand well? Here's the lines. There are 2 of them. We can just combine them into one. It says, quote, I thought he was hardened here. ... As hard as cold steel.
Oh, I can't remember that. Okay.
But Elaine defends him.
Yeah, this is that conversation that we were talking about earlier, Josh. Yeah. So we're getting kind of like a look where Elaine sees this type of behavior as like that of a leader, and it's correct. Like he's not being arrogant. He's not being like,
he's a king.
Yeah. He's acting like a king should, with confidence and expectation, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kay, we also there is confirmation to just how shitty Nynaeve is when Elaine says she apologized to Littell, and Egwene's like, what? Oh, she apologized? Whoa, you're blowing my fucking mind.
Yeah. Like, come on, like, that's the part of Nynaeve that I really that I dislike is just, man, I don't know how to.
This is great, right? Like, okay, so she apologized.
It's so
to
surprising.
everybody's point here. The other woman nodded, her face as bemused as Egwene knew her own must be. She's like, yeah, she's just being a royal, and
here's your favorite part, Dan. He's overweening as a pig in a pea field.
yeah.
All right, drink.
Yep.
No, but
Yeah, what is that? What is over? Who uses the term overweening?
No one ever. Robert Jordan one time.
No one ever.
I'm so glad you both brought that up because I read that out loud earlier and was like,
I'm pretty sure Robert Jordan made that up, and that's literally the only time in the history of literature that it's ever been used.
It's a shocking term, and I think it deserves attention. So I'm again really glad you brought that up.
Ryan, it was my opening when we opened. I was as overweening as a pig. In a
oh, that's funny. No, I prefer overweeding.
Overweening, yeah.
That's my issue.
Overweeding.
Yeah. Like my garden's so great, I'm overweeding.
He's funny because it means two things.
Hey.
Like Cheech and Chong.
Of this way and the stuff of that way.
So this is also in this next little part here. This is where she said, Elaine says, "You've changed too. There seems to be something of Rand's attitude about you." Yeah. So she. That's why I said it was like Elaine saying Egwene is taking more of like a leadership role on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so is this? Did we determine that this is IEL influence?
I think so. I mean, I think that's partially it.
Brother Dan, speaking of openings, my opening was going to be something about the quote of thinking about women fingering swords even when they're wrapped in cloth. Did you guys drink to that yet? No? Missed it?
I think we missed it.
How did you miss that?
I'm not sure.
Is that in 22?
No, in chapter 24, it was like a quote about like I'm thinking about women fingering swords even when they're wrapped in cloth. It was when like they're talking. Like,
it was something Soralita thought about. Yeah,
it was one of the best ever. Ever.
We didn't even drink.
Hey, no.
Is that like is that how the Quakers do it? Through a sheet?
Yeah, no, of course, absolutely. Quaker love, you're driving me, man. You're giving me hand jobs.
Daily.
I apologize for that. I'm sorry.
You know why they're called Quakers?
Is it because of the oats?
Sex stuff.
Yeah, Ryan. I don't. The sentence is this.
There's two ways of churning milk.
Soralita shifted her shawl, muttering about girls touching swords, even wrapped in blankets, and about having a sharp word with young bear.
Girls touching swords.
Double drink for that? That's the word.
All right. And now that we have confirmation,
it's like pull down, and like the 50-year-old scotch for that one.
Whoops.
Reminds me.
I don't know. It doesn't really trigger my drinking obligation nerve, but I hear you.
Yeah, my opener, Ryan, was it was the fifth for you, so it better be a fifth of scotch for me.
Ah, beautiful. And have you finished that?
I've gone through one drink already, and Erin brought me a plate of garlic naan and a new drink because she's amazing.
Yes.
Man, come on, Erin, bring some up.
Instead of Erin Brockovich, is Erin brought some naan?
Brought some naan.
That's
Nanovich.
I can't wait to meet your wife, Erin brought some naan.
Erin brought some naan.
Saved the day.
Yeah,
also,
I was watching. No, okay, I'm sorry, real quick. I was watching, and Tom, you're fading. You came in slow and sluggish, and after the brought some naans, you are on fuego.
Oh,
It's like after Hulk Hogan is getting beaten down for 9 rounds, and all of a sudden the crowd's cheering, and you put your ear up. Yeah, you start hearing the crowd. Yes.
I broke Ryan.
My triple.
That was a
Hey,
attempted a
Well, I'm sorry,
compliment sandwich, I think.
No, that was just a compliment to your wife. Sorry, head.
Okay.
do you
Anywho.
know what
I was gonna say that was
the
like
Rockovich is cooking?
I'm sure it was great.
it was, but you know, that's how my brain works.
Okay. So what are we doing? Where is it going here?
Moving on.
Moving on.
Elaine makes a comment about her being the Amerlin seat and her being the Queen of Andor one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then they talk about how the tower is broken, but it can't break. But Eli's trying because she's so bad.
You know, that's some privileged shit where 2 white girls are like, I'm going to be queen one day and you're going to be Amaryllis and we're going to rule this world. Ah, giggle, 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 giggle.
Yeah, 2 girls, 1 hubris.
Oh.
One hubris? Okay.
See, Tom and I are the only ones that sighed heavily
That was
in distaste. We're like, oh,
yeah. Well, that brings back some pretty shitty memories.
right? It's pretty shitty. It's like a good poo emoji,
Yeah.
perhaps.
So it's,
and I'm not sure why.
Winnie the Pooh.
Not Winnie the Pooh.
All right, move on.
there is so Elaine is not consistent here. It says, quote, she said I wasn't to tell you this, but she thinks that Mogideon is trying to find us, her and me. Okay. So I guess you can't talk about Brigitte, but you can spill the beans, whatever Nynaeve says, huh?
Or that's-
on.
I think that's something that Brigitte told them, or Brigitte told them.
Brigitte told Nynaeve, yeah.
Well, that's what Egwin, it says clearly it was something that Brigitte had told them.
And we heard Brigitte tell it to Nynaeve the last time that we saw Brigitte.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, we just see a lack of consistency there. I mean, if you're going to violate one confidence, violate them all, snitch. You dirty rat, Elaine. Anyways. Go on, Tom.
No, I'm sorry, I zoned out there for a second. Elaine, Egwene chides Elaine for not being careful. She says, "I always am." Egwene's like, "Yeah, okay, ha." And then, as if to prove Egwene right, she then runs off and does some dumb shit.
Right.
I mean, the other way around. Elaine tells Egwene to be, yeah.
Well, let's talk about what Egwene finds in Elida's study.
Yeah.
She jumps into Elida's study. She opens the box. It says, quote, there was no word on Rand's whereabouts.
Mostly reports of failures.
Mostly reports of failures. There was more than a month had passed since the last news of Tanchico. There was something that Rand was involved in something in Tanchico, and she's like, fuck yeah, let Elida look that way because Rand's way over in the waist that way. A Red Sister in Camelin claimed to have seen more gates in a public audience. There's been fighting in the borderlands, possibly minor rebellions in Shinar and Arafel. And Pedronile is calling in White Cloaks to Amadisia, possibly to move against Altara. You know, I like shit like this, actually. Little info dumps. I like this shit a lot. Like, just kind of give you a world view of just everything else kind of going on. And there's quite a few things going on here. We see that the White Tower has no idea where Rand is and is looking more towards Tanchico than anywhere else, possibly.
Right. Also, Josh or Kay, do you guys remember who Bashir is or why that name is sticking in their head there?
Ooh, Bashir?
Lord Bashir.
Why is that name sticking in Egwene's head?
not recall.
Something from the game of houses, right?
No, and I think we can actually just even spill the beans. This right?
Yeah.
This is Fael's last name.
Yep. Fael or Zarinti Bashir Ayabara.
Oh, right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
We know
apparently
that-
he has an army.
Yeah, just if you, as a mnemonic, just remember that Fael slapped Perrin, so she bashed his ear.
She said, "Shh."
It's easy mnemonic, yeah. Fael bash ear.
He bashed it. Box ear.
Well, we know that Fael is she's a noble, but she's also pretty close to the throne of Saldea, and her and if that is her, if her name is also the same name as the Marshal General of the armies of Saldea, so that's pretty interesting.
Right, and we also learned that Elena and Nynaeve are still in Altara, where Pedronile is calling the White Cloaks, but she thinks, well, it's a good thing they're only there for 3 more days.
Mm-hmm.
So, I actually have a funny thing over here. If you wanna come over back to the map for a second.
Yes, yeah, go right.
Yeah.
All right,
So-
let me zoom you in. So
There we go. So they're currently they say they're on their way to Geldon, which is right here, right? And they're just south of Johanna, which is right here. So they're about right here. They say they're traveling the road to Johanna, which is about right here. Saladar is right there. So Elaine and Nynaeve and Tam and Julian are right here on this road.
Not Tam.
And Saladar is right here. So they're really close to each other, but they're they don't know.
the road
That
to
was-
Jahara.
Johanna.
Wait, who's really close to one another?
So Julian, Tom, Elaine, and Nynaeve are just south, and they're right here. So
Yeah, I saw. And who's the other
then
group?
Salidar,
Uh-huh.
where all of the Aes Sedai are, the Aes Sedai in exile, are right here.
Right.
There. Just to the west of them, or just to the east of them, a little northeast.
Right.
Just like on the other side of those woods, huh?
Yeah, not far at all.
In by Aes Sedai in exile, you mean Swan?
Well, yeah. So we know that from the last chapter.
And is leading Min and what's her face to Saladar, right?
Correct. Yeah. So in the last chapter with Min and Swan gets the name Sally Dara from that one innkeeper that makes her show her leg or whatever.
Right.
And then she says Saladar, and then that's where they're heading to. So that's actually where it is right there, real close by.
And what's his fuck? Lord Bryn is trailing them as well. And Morghese is traveling there also, weirdly.
Ish, yeah.
Oh,
It's as if the fates have been entwined.
I don't remember where Morghese is besides just outside of.
Well, she's going to find Lord Bryn.
She's going to find, Gareth Bryn. Yeah. There's a couple flicker moments. It says, so when we see flicker, right? We've seen that one other time before.
I love this.
It makes me think of
Yeah.
Well, but it also reminds me of the Portal Stone world.
Well, we've seen it more than once.
When he fucked up and everyone saw all these past lives and stuff.
Aaron
right?
was there and instigated that whole thing, and there was a switcheroo with the portal stone. They were supposed to go to one, and they ended up at another. Anyways, that was weird too. And
They lost a couple of months.
We also saw the flicker.
Flicking around all over the place, and lost months. Yeah.
Does flicker constitute as a drinking obligation?
I think Flickety Flick does.
Depends on the community.
Flicker.
We also saw the flicker when Egwene first met the wise woman. And she was going from place to place within the TAR.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
And the wise woman was like interfering with her vision of the Tel'aran'rhiod.
I don't remember the flicker part. I remember the scene. I just don't remember the flicker part.
Yeah, it's like she would describe things like changing abruptly.
So do you think maybe that's...
So there were things, yeah, so, but it didn't have the italicized flicker, right? Did it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Do you think that maybe that's where they're tied together there? Like abruptly shifting reality causes that flicker kind of sensation?
Yeah.
By the way, Tom, I'm gonna flicker like a pig in a pea field.
Well, I think these flickers are from Mogideon interjecting her will. What does she call it?
Influence? No.
Influence, yeah.
This is a word.
Huh.
I don't remember.
It's the same word we use for like what Gabriel was doing to Margase.
Compulse?
Yep.
Compulsion, thank you.
So this is what Mogideon is doing to Egwene in her dream.
Mm-hmm.
Is just feeding her best life.
Oh, you mean in the dream that she has?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gawain. So Gawain literally rides in on a horse, probably with his hair. He has long hair blowing in the wind. There's a beam of sun that's bouncing off of the glistening reflection of his rippling chest muscles as he dismounts the horse.
So, by the way, let me comment. Let me just, if I can, just give a tiny little tirade about Bran al'Vere. As you know, I have a thing about Bran al'Vere. It says, "quote the only roof like it in the Two Rivers." Bran al'Vere had often said about his red tiles. Later it says, Maren al'Vere came out. She was the best cook in the Two Rivers. Egwene could hear her father laughing inside the common room where he was meeting with the rest of the village council. Bran al'Vere is Donald J. al'Vere. He is, everything's the best.
It's the best. This is the best roof.
I have the best roof in all of Two Rivers.
It's the only roof. People are telling me that I have the best roof in the whole of the Two
And
Rivers.
in her dream, her father doesn't come out. Her father is still busy. Her mom comes out.
Yep.
So, yeah, he was a distant father. He was more involved with doing his shit than actually raising his kids, I think.
Puffing the roof.
He was bragging about his fucking wealth.
Look at my roof. Look how
Yeah,
I'm so wealthy.
Oh, you're having Sambui fix your roof? He doesn't know how to work with tiles. I need to bring someone in from Watch Hill.
Yeah, you're having Senbui fix the roof? Oh, yeah. I have no one to fix the roof. Because
I gotta bring someone in from Devon Ride. I gotta bring in an expert.
And then not pay them.
A master. And then I'm going to make him sue me for wages.
So when you guys popped up back on screen, it was just like you were looking so innocent there, okay? And he's and Ryan was there like whoop. Like things were happening. Felty thing.
Hey there. Jollywood Baseball. Thank you, my friend. Good to see new faces.
Puppet. I'm not gonna lie, I love all you guys, but the puppets are the real reason. I love them so much. It's just so much fun.
And Discord, you should definitely join us on Discord if you, Wait, are you? No, you're on
No,
Twitch.
just
Is that
Twitch. Yeah, jump on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Join us on Discord.
Get on YouTube and then also on Discord. You can see.
So
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anyway,
Is it DJ Ollywood? Or is it just Jollywood? Like
Jollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood.
I like Jollywood better.
I like that.
Well, like the total of a purpose I have, Jolly, is personal. But yeah, like right now there are 3 on the screen.
So she at first is dreaming about Galad, then is dreaming about Gawain.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
a horny little vixen in her dreams, ain't she? She's like, I normally dream of Gawain, but sometimes I dream of Galad because he's so hot. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that'd be like, I'm sorry, KayK, sometimes I dream of your sister.
That's so disgusting.
Right?
there is.
Oh no.
There's
I
there's
always love you, but sometimes I dream of your sister.
there's one last drinking obligation in this chapter.
Talk to me.
So Mogideon is thinking about killing Nynaeve. That woman, she meant to beg to be bound in her service. She would take her in the flesh.
mhm.
Her in the flesh.
Mogideon does actually say the girl was stronger than she thought in order to elude her
Weaving of
weavings of the
Telerion.
Telerion. So talking about it just like she would talk about the one power.
Yeah, that's it. Really makes me feel like it's a completely separate, magic system. Is
Josh, there is a line here I wanted to talk to you specifically about. You had mentioned that the Dark Lord may not be the actual big bad guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He might be a demigod.
Mm-hmm.
There's a line here that says she would take her in the flesh, perhaps ask the great Lord to grant her immortality.
Mm-hmm.
So Nynaeve could have forever to regret opposing Mogideon. Do you think that we can talk to the Creator? Because it seems like Mogideon can talk to the great Lord.
Right.
What do you think, Kay and Josh? Yeah.
I have a really good pet theory about that, but I can't talk about it yet.
No, you cannot, genius.
You can't, but I want to hear our first time readers. Yeah.
You can only remember your 3s were the first time you read the books.
Is the Dark Lord the equal to the Creator? And if so, can you talk to these beings, these gods?
I hope so. I hope that the Dark Lord or the Dark One can do something and create some sort of change.
Oh, the Dark One, or Lord specifically.
The Dark One, not the Creator. Oh, yeah. I'm really just wanting the Dark One to make a change. But you asked about the Creator, I realize now. So probably, I don't know. Is the present? He's not ever present in our world now.
Who did Rand talk to in Eye of the World?
Your mom. So instead of MAGA chant, build the wall, KayK's chant is tear down the wall. Tear down the wall.
Yeah,
Kill the pattern.
break the wheel.
Break the cycle of suffering.
Free the TAVERN. Yeah.
I mean, could the Dark Lord just be a really strong channeler?
Sure. Anything's possible at this point because, seriously, I don't know. And I don't know. That's a very odd question. Yeah, sure. I think it's probably the answer.
Josh looks sus. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, he looks like he's deep in thought over there.
We don't see channelers asking for help from the Creator.
We've seen the Dark Friends ask for help, and
from the
receive
Great
it.
Lord, but not channelers asking for help from the Creator.
No, but we see the populace constantly say light. Oh, light, right?
Oh, the light. Oh, the light. And the dark ones are not going, oh, the shadow.
Right? Like,
Sheltered in the Creator's hand is another thing they say.
Yeah.
Sheltered in the Creator's
So I don't know. I mean, my impression
Maybe
is that the Creator is more of an abstract principle than, in the same way that like God is the Trinity and had to create Jesus in order to be incarnate on the planet, but Satan is an incarnate being. It's the same way here, right? Like the Creator is an abstract principle. It's God the Father. God, I hate that term, but or the Holy Spirit, as opposed to the messianic incarnation.
Well,
Right?
I mean,
So
like-
you can't talk to it.
Yeah, it's not a physical entity,
Right.
is what you're saying.
It is a principle as opposed to an entity. Whereas the Great Lord is very much in the flesh.
So why wouldn't we believe?
So you believe
more
and
in
an
the
identity,
Lord
has an identity.
instead of like
Sorry, Kay, go ahead.
yeah, no, to this is so often a phrase in this thing, but to your point, Josh, why wouldn't Dark Lord always be like the most obvious way to go then, because it's a tangible or more constant force, right? Like it's not a mythological type of situation, or not. Maybe that's not the right way to phrase that, but
Well, isn't all of creation the byproduct of the Creator's will?
Well, no. Well, I mean, it's. I want to like kind of like tap into Tom and like.
Hang on, Ryan. Is not all of creation the byproduct of the Creator's will?
All right, so to that point, then, in biblical terms, Satan was a fallen angel.
Right.
Is that which is lesser than a god? It is a byproduct of the God.
The God.
Created.
The God. Not
Is
when
this a similar dynamic then?
So there's a phrase that when they talk about the Dark One and his prison and all that stuff, specifically they say it. I want to say at this point they've probably said it 50 times. Do you remember? The Creator created the Dark One and at the moment of creation and sealed him away in his prison. That's something they say over and over and over and over and over and over.
Right,
and
but
over.
we also know that these even the incantation is false, because the incantation states that the dragon released there's something false within that incantation. Ryan, do you remember what I'm talking about?
No. The incantation, the like all that the people say when they like are praying. When someone says the Dark One, they go, "Oh no, the Dark One was sealed away at the moment of creation with the Forsaken." Blah 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 blah. Right? That
Correct.
thing, the thing that no one understands where they learned it, but everyone knows it.
But I think there's also even something wrong in like factually wrong.
Yes, Dana Lewis brought this up before. Yeah, like if you actually go through it literally, there's something wrong in the interpretation of
Yeah, so that's even a false prophecy.
not a prophecy, just like they're not prophesying, they're just
right
trying to like, because that's all talking about the history, not prophecy, right?
Right.
Well,
It's not a prophecy. It's just the way they understand it.
So I still want to go back to what I said before, Kay. So you were saying that the Dark One would be a better choice because it is a principle that you can connect with and be a part of, right? But in a sense, all of creation is that for the Creator. Do you understand my point there?
No.
Creation itself is that thing that represents the Creator, as opposed to the Dark One representing its own interests.
Okay, so the Dark One has only the interests of the Dark One, and the Creator has interests of all of whatever has been created.
Right.
Okay.
Creation is that thing which represents the Creator.
But what if the thing that is created can be
Corrupted.
alternately assumed to be immoral?
And this is where the whole thing about my theory about free will and the Wheel of Time comes in, right? Like the Dark One has to be there in order for the dragon to make the choice whether or not to defeat him, therefore yielding free will to the entire rest of creation.
How about this? Wait, could the Dark One be the only? Could the Dark One, aka like chaos, be the thing that creates free will, and that they go?
That's exactly what I just. Yeah, it's the battle between the two.
So are they like a virus in a system that's functioning well, but now are they like a virus in a computer system?
Or
I don't
two
understand your analogy.
complementing.
Well,
They're principles. Yeah, they're like yin and yang, or chaos and order. You can't have one without the other.
Let me put it this way, though. If the Creator created the Dark One, could he just as easily remove the Dark One from the pattern?
Not without obliviating the reason that creation exists. I mean, this goes back to Gnosticism and the idea of like, why did God create death and destruction instead of a perfect creation, right? And it's
I can't wait for you to
so that God can see self-awareness. Like if the principle is not self-aware and is something above an identity, then it needs the process of identity to represent itself within creation. And that process happens through suffering and rebirth and the battle of free will and
right. But the Gnosticism, doesn't Gnostics like believe that they accept tragedy in this life because they believe that the Creator, because the Creator is in them and with them, experiences the same tragedy as well.
Right.
Right. That it. But when you have the Dark One imprisoned, is that say then can Gnosticism like that at least that aspect of it in regards to accepting suffering?
Well, it's imperfectly imprisoned.
It is. Well, it was perfectly imprisoned.
It wasn't though.
It never was perfectly imprisoned. There would be no death and suffering.
Okay, so it's stated at the moment of creation, the Dark One was sealed away, and then you know that at some point the Dark One was freed. To your logic, no one died until the Dark One was freed, and then people were dying. Am I right?
Whose logic? Who are you asking that question to?
You, Josh, right now. Like,
No, I don't think that the Dark One was ever perfectly imprisoned.
No, I get that. But you're saying that he's not perfectly imprisoned. That's why people are dying. So do you think the connection is him? Okay, why is the Dark One necessary at the moment of creation?
In order for there to be a process by which humans execute their free will, thus creating the opportunity for consciousness and everything to emerge
free of good knowledge. Yeah.
The world. I mean, otherwise you have just
for balance, because otherwise you just have like a boring ass story.
Right.
All right. So great.
Plot device.
That's a very good point. So could the Dark One actually somehow subvert the Creator and kill the Creator and break the wheel? Or is that just a stupid like whim of a imperfect Creator? Like
what? No, the Dark One will break.
Think about it like this. Think about it. If you have
triumph over the whatever
you can't
good is like
the Great Lord. You can have
You can't have light without shadow.
Right.
There you are. You have to have both. You have to have a balance. It has to have some. There's got to be something.
But could the shadow overwhelm the light?
Isn't that? I
Can
feel
the
like
light
that
overwhelm
is
the
the mission
shadow?
of the Dark
I mean,
One.
Well, Robert Jordan has said that each turn of the wheel, there's more change.
Right. So, I mean, I think, yes, I think Rand's role, or the dragon's role, is to create this moment of possibility where their own decision of free will to sacrifice themselves, again, this is going to the messianic tint of this whole book, is the moment at which free will is bestowed upon the rest of creation. By subverting the Dark One or giving into him, that free will is what creates it for everyone else.
And by sacrifice, you're talking about because of the prophecy, the dragon's blood on the
Yes. And sometimes they might fight, the dragon might fight for the Dark One, as we've seen, right?
Yeah, which is very weird.
Well,
it's a hard concept to wrap my head
Well,
around.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
I wanted to actually bring that up.
Is that the Antichrist?
That's funny. I was composing my question right when you bring that up. Like, what does it mean that has been proposed? Do you think that is accurate? Or, I mean, because also we are taking it from a POV. Like, the person saying that could just be lying. Right? Like, we've heard that from Balsamon, and we heard that from, like, right, Ishmael in the prologue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we've heard it like repeated by, I think it was Balsamon. These are things that are just like stated by Forsaken. And I just wanted to say, have you ever do you think that it is a fact that there have been turnings of will that like a Rand figure has turned to the Dark One and has been used to the Dark One? And what would that have been? What would that look like?
Well, maybe that was like one of the flicker moments or something.
No, that's a good point.
Well, we haven't. No, we have. Well, have we? Well, I mean, if you can look back at the flicker moments.
Like one of the
It said that there was thousands of lives and thousands of deaths, and Ishmael always said, "I win again, lose Theron."
And those, yeah, and I don't remember him specifically being a dark friend in any of them. Like, there were times that he like was more tainted and acting and like had like 3 fingers.
But also at this point, we know that Balsamon is Ishmael. Right?
Yeah, right. You're right. Yeah,
we know that. So we know Ishmael was just a dude in the Age of Legends who went to the Shadow. So how much do we trust him and what he's saying?
Right.
Okay.
One of the names that they have for the Dark One is a similar name that they have for Satan in our mythology.
Shaitan.
Yeah.
I just died.
Father of lies. Father of
So
lies.
what happens if Balsamon, if the Great Lord wins the battle of the turning of the wheel in the past?
That is the question.
Did everything restart? And was he re-imprisoned in the next turning?
Well,
that's a good
question.
Or is what's special about this turning that we're learning and reading about is that this is the moment where it could be broken, where it never could have before?
Yeah, it's a great question.
We don't know the answer to that, but those are important bits.
The first time we meet Tom Maryland, he talks about ages that end in fire and ages that end in ice.
Well, we see different things that happen in this one.
Could an age that end in fire be like an age that Rand, or the Rand figure, the dark, like the dragon was, right? Like, could that be what he's referring to?
I would assume so. But what is it? And is it that there's been enough entropy built up that now the scale of change can totally break the wheel this time? And why is that? If that's true.
And what happens if the wheel breaks?
Right.
The TAVERN are freed, and the Forsaken.
You're really latched
Oh,
onto
But death and rebirth does not continue.
Well, no, I mean like then the Forsaken don't have to be like imprisoned in the dream world. It seems like that's just like the only existence that they have, and then there's like maybe
the Forsaken or the heroes.
Or whatever.
The heroes are trapped in the dream world. The Forsaken.
Aren't the Forsaken for her the heroes too?
Sorry, the hero.
Let me ask you guys: if the wheel broke and the pattern is unraveled, would Tel'aran'rhiod be affected?
Are you? I'm not. I'm.
Yeah. The first time readers. Yeah.
Sorry, what? Question again, please.
If the wheel actually broke, would Tel'aran'rhiod, where all the heroes hang out, where Hopper hangs out, where all these dream things and all this shit, would that be affected? Would the ways be affected? Would portal stones be affected?
I think yes.
I think so too.
Okay.
All of that would be affected. I think they're all intertwined.
So we don't really know.
I don't know why either.
Reading will let you know.
Explanation to that, it's just like,
Read and let you know. I like that.
Josh,
How about that?
Read and find out.
That's
a great response, man.
For our show,
FTR.
Actually, slowly read, and we'll let you know.
10 points to Josh.
So the chapter ends with Mogideon spying on Egwene.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
she's been spying on her the whole time, apparently.
Right, and was the cause of the flickers.
Yep.
We assume.
And Egwene does recognize that she could have been trapped there, which I thought was interesting. She uses the word trapped.
She has a lot of insight. I think she's like the superpower of the Tel'aran'rhiod. I think like this is like something that's happening where Nynaeve is really similar to what's her face's name? What's her nuts with that starts with an S?
Sorellia.
Yes.
Karri?
Yes. She seems really similar to her because they're just like angry all the fucking time. Angry all the time. And they have to do these things that make So then,
Wait, Sorelli and Egwene or Sorelli and Nynaeve?
Sorelli and Nynaeve. And then Egwene is just seems to be this power pistol packing mama of the Tel'aran'rhiod, the powerful one of that situation, and people that have been traveling through Tel'aran'rhiod for hundreds of years don't even understand the power that Egwene has, don't understand the power that Nynaeve has, while others that have been channeling and doing all sorts of different shit for many decades, eons of whatever the hell. It's all weird and makes no sense when it makes a lot of sense when you compare it, but then it makes no sense when it's like, how do they all come from Edmund's Field? That doesn't make any sense. I just keep going back to that for some reason because I'm just like, why are they all? I know TAVERN, we talked about that early on.
It's almost like why are all presidents come from Harvard?
Yeah, where are they? Why are they all from freaking Kentucky? I don't understand. What is happening?
Edmund's Field is the Skull and Bones.
Yeah, it's the Skull and Bones. Yeah.
I just shortcutted into calling them the Chosen in my head.
Oh yeah.
They're essentially
wink.
They're the version of the
Edmund's Field or the Chosen. Is that what you're saying, John?
all of our heroines and heroes that we've met are the Chosen in the sense that the Forsaken are called the Chosen under the Dark One's side. These are the Chosen on the other side.
Yes. Okay. And so either way they end up swinging, they're chosen for a reason, for a purpose. They're all kind of blue Aja in that way, because they're just they have a really specific loyalty to a cause and a purpose, right?
Yep.
Right.
Let me ask one final question about this Tel'aran'rhiod. So we have Egwene. Her dream turned into having Gawain come up. She has a kid and whatnot. This is eerily similar to her accepted
vision
test.
within the wheel or the rings.
Right, her test within the accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Angry Owl is somewhat connected to Tel'aran'rhiod?
Yes.
Okay.
Like going through the rings is connected to Tel'aran'rhiod? Yeah.
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 What do you think, Tom?
I honestly, I think that she was like, you dream about, your experiences. So I think that she was, just pulling an experience from her past. And that's what she was dreaming about.
Okay. I mean, it was similar. We had a different groom, of course, but
yeah,
I
think as she's starting to Egwene herself, I think, in the beginning it was, I love Gallade because he's so hot, oh my god. But now she's kind of realizing that Egwene probably has more of the characteristics that she likes.
Right on.
Gowan.
To say
I know how to say the names, I just don't. My brain doesn't want to say it. Like, I know it's Birgitta.
I'm starting to think of the Gawain and Galad as like the Helmsworth brothers. Helmsworth.
So which one's Luke?
So Gawain is not Thor.
Not Chris.
Not the guy who plays Thor. Galad is the guy who plays Thor.
Okay. And then Gawain is the one that plays Thor in the play that's in the movie. That's his brother.
That's his, yeah, that's him. But they both surf, which is cool.
So just one last thought about the Dark One creator question.
Yeah.
I don't think it's clear that the creator made the Dark One.
Other than they say
what
it.
The
in that
mythology
movie.
says is that the Dark One was imprisoned at the moment of creation, not created.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, I like that distinction, actually.
So then, what are the implications of that starting now? Give me at least
that it is an existent principle outside of the creator's will.
It pre-existed creation?
Yes. Pre-existed the existence of the universe. And is itself a principle.
But
you think that the Dark One is on par with the creator?
That would be the implication. If the creator did not create the Dark One and then imprison him, then it had to have also existed or was created at the moment of creation outside of its power.
Okay.
Could the Dark One have created the creator? Could we be in an inverse property where we've been all along thinking, is the Dark One going to dissolve?
Well, that again goes back to the Gnosticism of like, if the creator can't be self-aware, then it can't have a sense of self, and therefore cannot be good or evil.
Right. Is the ocean good or evil?
It's good.
Is the pattern itself good or evil, or is it just seeking balance?
We've learned that it's neither, I think. Yeah, but it is the expression of the will of the creation.
Which sometimes has negative repercussions.
Right.
For people just picking an apple.
I do like the idea of balance, though, Tom. I mean, I think that's an interesting question of whether or not that is the value that it prioritizes.
And in that case, what is the Dark One seeking?
What is the Dark One's what?
What does he see? If the wheel is seeking just to go on in harmony, then what does the Dark One want?
Dark One is
The cessation of
Puppet was sneezing.
all
Apologies
happening.
for a moment. Oh gosh.
Yeah, the cessation of things and the repeating cycle of the wheel.
So, but what about the Forsaken? Like in the Forsaken's minds, what do they think? What do they view as a win when if the Dark One wins? They're going to be,
powerful.
Power.
So they view themselves as like ruling over the world, as all powerful beings,
like controlling
Right.
everything, and then
And not having to refight this battle and losing all the time.
Am I still muted?
Is that a
No,
ruse?
no, you're there.
Is that a ruse? If the Dark One's ideas were
I would assume, yes, that they have had the wool pulled over their eyes.
all of them. Wow, cool. Yeah. So the question is, if the Dark One's, what do you think?
I said I think that it would just be like about power. Yeah. Just creating like something new and different.
But will the Forsaken's expectations be met if the Dark One wins?
Yeah, that's my question. What do you think?
Will the Forsaken's, the expectations or like the promises that the Dark One has made to the Forsaken, will those be?
Yeah.
Like,
even in this last chapter, Mogideon is like, I will make Nynaeve immortal so I could torture her for all time while I rule after the Dark One wins. Like,
right.
that's so like you kind of get like a little sneak peek into what she thinks
right.
the Dark One winning looks like.
And we've heard from Lanfear about, we can destroy the Great Lord and rule ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that they absolutely think that. I don't know that it's true necessarily. I do hope that it's true, being one of the Dark Friends myself.
Great.
I really want it to be true, and I think that they all really believe that everything is going to come to fruition if the Dark One is able to break the wheel and take over, and that would be incredible. And I think such a cool, different, like, maybe that's what happened with the Amazon show. I don't know. Maybe the wheel's broken and everything's going to let's like totally create this in a new life. Anyways.
That's fascinating, because if the Dark One is actually possibly pre-existing the Creator, then just getting freed, and
not necessarily pre-existing the Creator, but pre-existing creation.
Great point. But okay, coexisting with the Creator prior to creation, at the moment of creation, sealed away. Once it breaks free, and says, "I'm going to break the wheel," it doesn't mean necessarily that nothingness is going to occur, because this is a power akin to creation, right? Like,
yes.
So it might not be safe to assume it's just nothingness. It could potentially be a form of life based on Dark One principles. Like, right?
I don't think it would be nothingness.
Okay.
I don't think it would be nothingness. I think it would absolutely be lots of things, and
just like a fun ball,
and just
yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't think it would be fun ball of tortures. No.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh. Fun ball of torture yourself. Because no, I don't think that. Like, I think exactly what I've been saying is that I think TAVERN would be freed from this perpetual situation. Also, I think Forsaken wouldn't be stuck in Telonrad, or at least Heroes of the Horn wouldn't be stuck in Telonrad, right? For like forevermore until they're
so
released. Like, it's just
a great.
There's so much. There's so many things that are just.
And the Heroes of the Horn could be fighting against the Dark One once they're free.
Well, not against the Dark One. No, they could be fighting for the Dark One. I'm a Dark One.
I almost let something slip there. That's my fault.
They could be farting.
Farting for the Dark Front.
Farting for the Dark One, because
Well, it could be that even if the Dark One wins, only this one reality is affected, and that all of the other parallel realities that the Creator has created continue, right? I mean, we don't know that all of space and time ends if the Dark One wins this one iteration of the wheel.
So does that make you kind of think about like our world now, Josh, and like how many different like there's so many theories, so I'm sure you know all the names of them, that
darkest timeline
exist currently like within our world, and then our just these different levels of existence and planes of existence of our own selves, but in real time, but not the same. But
do you remember one of the properties of that other portal world that they were in when they were traveling? Rand.
The time is twisted.
That's one.
Wait, when they what? I didn't.
When they were in
the elephant or the elephant?
No. When Rand and Hurin and Loyal went into the portal stone and ended up in a different version of the world.
Oh, the one with the Groms and they met Lanfear?
Yeah, and they decided like that this must have been if the Trollocs won the Trolloc Wars and not Arthur Hawkwing, because there was a giant Trolloc statue where the giant Arthur Hawkwing statue.
Right.
So there was a specific property of that world where they said it was kind of like
light was moving sluggishly or something.
It was hazy, yeah, like it wasn't fully tangible.
Right.
Because it was like a mirror, like a reflection, but it wasn't full.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that think of it like, the TVA and the MCU, there's the holy timeline, like the main timeline. Do you think that the other timelines or the other dimensions have just as much strength or bearing, or is there the main one and then the rest are kind of like, not as powerful? Like as the further you get away from the main timeline, the less and less tangible they become.
So have you ever seen a chorus line where they have like a ton of mirrors stacked up, and then one person is doing a kick line, but it looks like 20,000 people are doing a kick line, right? So that is kind of how I've envisioned this type of situation, where it's like there's one real thing, and then there's like a bunch of things that are mirrors to that, and similar but different, because they're not the real thing, so it has to be completely different. But then as the further away that gets from the camera, the less real it actually looks and is.
That's great.
Kind of a thing.
I think of it more about proximity. Like if you were from a timeline here, the further away you get from your native environment, the less real it looks. But that wouldn't be true for someone from another timeline.
Okay.
They would see your timeline in the same way.
Okay, I like that. So each timeline is just as real as the others, just only to the ones that are from that.
But the difference between them is what creates the resonance, or the de-resonance in this case, of reality, of the reality of that thing.
Oh yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, I like that.
But I see what you're saying too, Kay.
Yeah, it's the same thing, just with a different analogy, and I like that one too. Because now I get to think of a chorus line.
It's like, yes, it's going to be like the same,
one
same but different.
Those mirrors.
Just a different way of visualizing it, I think.
Absolutely.
Like, honestly, like Josh and I are just work differently.
Is it a mirror? Is it a million leotards?
Hey, who are you calling a leotard?
Hey, that word isn't acceptable.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, let me ask one more question. So Mogideon altered Egwin's brain. Is this something that you think that Egwin would be able to learn to do to other people?
I think she already did it.
She forced Nynaeve to change clothes.
Yeah, she did it to Nynaeve. Exactly, Tom. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Did she do the same thing, Josh? She did the same thing to Elaine when Elaine's dress kept changing colors, or what was that about? Like it changed into like this more vibrant green color, and then it changed into a red, and then her when she was like thinking sexual thoughts or like somewhere even near that. Her like
She saw
all
her,
of a sudden it like said hustler across.
It was like
showing them bitty titty.
Hey, girl.
Line, both of me.
Yeah, well, that's her doing it to herself. Nynaeve does that as well, and that's because their representation of themselves isn't that firm in the Telleramion, I think.
Okay,
You
so
said
it's
firm.
they're just having like they're just projecting their own insecurities onto themselves
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the dream world. That's fuckery. Wow.
Okay.
As opposed to having it done to them, like when Nynaeve looked down, she was holding the doll and wearing the like little girl's clothes.
Yeah.
When Bear.
Oh yeah.
told
And
her
asking about the dolls, I was like, I don't know. So, control.
It was a doll. It was Cabbage Patch. I don't know.
I like dolls. Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been quite the show. We're over 3 hours. We should wrap it up.
Yep.
Hey. Oh no!
Tom's asleep.
That was some awesome snoring though.
You're welcome.
Wait.
No, it's pretty good. ASMR right there, baby.
ASMR.
We will be back next week as always. We will be doing let's just call it 3 chapters because Salidara there's a bit that we're going to talk about with that, and so let's just say that there's 2 chapters after that we can get to.
Okay.
And be realistic.
We talk about That's true. That's a true fact.
Yeah.
We're too chatty for this.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. We spent literally an hour per chapter.
We're like, what? I don't. What's time? That doesn't. Huh?
You're right. It's wheel time.
It just. It's fine. Anyways, did we talk though about? Did we speak about chapter 25, the oak tree that had been there for a really long time, and then like 2,000 years of the inn? I have that in my notes. I just.
The old
wine spring.
Yeah, the wine spring had like an old foundation next to it from its predecessor.
It's neat.
Yeah. Okay.
They said, 2,000 years and had been.
Yeah.
I wonder if that always. I wonder if Master Bran Alvear just adopted this thing from better technology back in the day. He's like, no one can do tile now. Ha ha ha.
Got the Spanish tile ruse.
I'm the land baron. I'm the. I don't know.
Left over from Manetherin.
Guys, Bran's a jerk.
Oh my gosh, I know, but it was nice to hear a little bit about the history and like, oh gosh, that's really like a thing, and so it kind of solidified the, for me in my brain, the theory of like, well, this is an important place that's been around for a long time, so if this reincarnation situation might be possible, and that is really what's happening, it could be likely, 2,000 years. I was excited to hear that.
Yeah. It's called the Manetherin Bed and Breakfast.
Yeah. It's like that timeline tracks. Cool. Get down.
Kay and Josh, as always, you guys are beautiful and wonderful, and I appreciate each and every moment you spend with us. Your time is valuable, and I'm honored and grateful that you spend it with us every Tuesday. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I mean it.
Oh, thanks,
Tom.
Oh my gosh.
You are wonderful as well. Thank you. You were just on our Watchnary show on Sunday. We're becoming just like first brother.
I would say bosom buddies, but I'm
we're bosom buddies. Well, let's think of an IEL term. We're our grandfather's
First brothers?
sisters' brothers.
Yeah.
First brothers, nice.
First brothers. No, that's fine.
We got to do the ceremony. We'll do the ceremony next time we're in person.
I don't
and
respond well to
excited.
slapping.
I'll slap both of you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Like, I have a reflexive left jab. It's really hard.
What?
Right.
What? Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
He's Puppet Ali. I'm so pretty.
Flow like a butterfly. Sting like a leaf.
I'll never
Ryan,
forget your
as always, you're wonderful. I'm glad- Yeah, good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Nice job.
See you next week. I love you and I'm proud of you. And as the Tinkers say,
run for your lives.
Run.